Gotta go like this. Finger it, Landon. Finger everybody. Gotta get close when you finger them. Real close.
Oh my.
Deep in there, Landon. What's up, guys? It's the wood where you get what, Red Eye? What?
Get wooded so good.
Oh yeah.
Is it the wood where you have
What,
these
Red Eye?
trees and
What?
other what? It's you got these trees and it's got like it's a botanical environment. Sometimes they're deciduous, sometimes they're evergreen, sometimes they're like gum. It depends.
It's a cock, Landon. A cock has nothing to do.
Whoa.
Nothing to do with all of that, Landon. It's a big veiny cock.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
I
what
could
the
be
wood
associated with this show anymore.
Here, Landon, I see you found the most Canadian shirt ever there, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, which is trademark. See it says here, trademark Canada.
Even
as the official Canadian in the stream, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, this is by the way, this is a T-shirt you can get on Ansgar's thing. Although I must admit, I was the inspiration for that because I tell people when to say sorry, you have to say trademark Canada unless you're Canadian, in which case you probably want to say trademark. Although it's not a registered trademark, so
yeah, that's why I never say it. I don't have to.
Yes. But on the other hand, you're having an election. Sorry.
Yeah.
Trademark Canada.
Yeah, we're sorry too. I was just happy when we got rid of Stephen Harper back in the day.
Yeah, he was a bit of work, and it took a while too. I mean, you can thank the Bloc for a bit of that shenanigans, even though he was probably the most anti-Bloc, francophone prime minister in a long time. He
did have a good side. That's true.
he's but as I say, that things like in Canada are interesting. So we're going to see whether or not Trudeau is able to govern on without a coalition or not.
We'll see. So I mean, I'm not a big Bloc Quebecois fan, so
I can understand that they.
And again, I think the vast majority of Canadians that aren't Bloc fans.
And then part of the problem with the Bloc is they're really not one block. I mean, the Bloc just has a large political range, and so if you have a particular perspective, and you have any Bloc enabled or a Bloc head or whatever you called it, then there's often bits of the Bloc that don't work well. But we'll have to see whether or not the Greens are involved. The Greens are a party that I don't. I'm not very appreciative of because the Greens have no intention of governing. Their sole purpose is to try to be that niche party to form a coalition where they then get some demand and then turn around and then undo the coalition to kick up a fuss. That's essentially their lot in life. Heaven help them if they actually formed a government because they wouldn't know what to do. And to me,
not the most useful.
that makes them as a party reprehensible.
Yeah, fair enough. Can't argue that.
I disagree. Okay, I can't believe you'd say that.
On the other hand,
people say, "Oh, you're supposed to be pro-green and so forth." No, I don't respect the Green as a party. And it's a political movement that tend to be really sort of not very useful.
On the other hand, they're not the Blocs, so there's that.
That's true, and well, the Bloc is not Mad Max either. So it's not.
I don't know. Mad Max sounds kind of fun, but we're too far away from Australia. It wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Allegedly,
yes.
Allegedly.
I just say that, but as I say, So sorry that you're trademark candidate. You're having to do elections. I hope but at least you're only what? It's only what 20? How many days? Like your election is like it's pretty quick.
I think, yeah, somewhat. I don't know.
Like
I haven't
30,
paid much close
like
attention
about
to this
36, 37 days, something like that. Whereas,
one.
in
It's
the
certainly
US,
faster than American ones.
it lasts 36 months or worse, right? So,
Yeah. Something about hanging chads, right?
yeah, that's the least of our worries. So I'm not saying that in order to say, well, we're better. It's just that I
We're
just
better.
apologize
Oh.
because parliamentary systems have this downside that the government sometimes calls elections not because they need to be called, but because they think they can gain something.
Yeah.
Darn politics. Full of politicians. That's the problem.
Yeah. Anyway, so folks, Kinder, Red Eye, and his greatest Shabisky are here in lieu of Pimpmunk because Pimpmunk's not feeling so well. And part of what's not feeling so well is his mouth, dental work and such. So if you could donate even a little bit, that money would go to help John Pimpmunk take care of his mouth. He's got a bad infection. He's got a lot of pain, and it would also help Kitty over there.
It would make Kitty happy.
Yeah.
Kitty will be
laid
happy.
back Kitty. I think
He's
that kitty's
purring.
high.
Here, do you guys hear him? Let's see if you can hear him.
No.
Purring.
Oh yeah, I hear it.
I don't. Oh well.
Learn how to hear, Crinder. The fuck's
Yeah,
your
it's pretty-
problem?
It was a
I
pretty obvious.
I can't listen to things. I got these things in my ears.
Take them out and listen. God.
Oh, okay.
By
Wait, now I can't hear you anymore. Where'd you go?
By the way, nice
Where'd you
hat.
go?
Yeah.
I like your hat is very very, very pithy.
Yeah.
It is very pithy. It is the
You're looking-
pithiest of helmets.
Yes.
Let's go on a safari.
I'm ready.
Yeah. I can tell you got the fucking hat. That's all.
I
Basically
need
all
you guys to
need,
bring the
right?
rifle though, because I'm not American. I don't have a rifle.
But
What a girl.
but they do allow bang shoot things in Australia for various reasons. So if you go there, I mean,
we're allowed to have them here too. It's just we just
Not
don't have a
in
big
impunity.
gun culture like
and
America.
in fact, in the case of Canada, I hear in fact that there's some places that have pretty sizable gun ownership percentage.
Oh yeah, I used to work with a guy who accidentally brought a pocket full of bullets to work once because he forgot they were in there.
Can happen, I guess.
I think he reached in for his keys and came out with a handful of bullets. He was like, "Whoops!"
So
I could have gotten a lot of
please-
trouble if I'd known they were in there.
Please help Mr. Kitty over there by clicking that
Yeah.
thumbs up button.
Kitty,
Helps on the algorithm. And if you can
Try-
donate to help Pimpmunk get his mouth in order.
try putting Kitty's tummy up to the microphone.
What you want to hear is heartbeat.
Well, you can usually hear the purring better that way.
Oh yeah. Ah.
Ah,
That's what I always used to do when I had a cat. Whenever she was purring, I'd pick her up on my shoulder and then like put the side of her belly right up to my ear.
oh.
Yeah.
So the rumbling's just
True.
going all through my head. It was fun.
So yes. So hey, Luna, I hope you're doing well. And how are the people doing in the chat? We got some folks
Nikki
there.
Vent
Nikki.
here.
Ah,
Yeah, hello, Nikki.
so it's important that we do something so that Pimpmunk, who's probably watching, doesn't sit there and say, "You guys suck," blah 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 blah, sort of thing. You got to he's got to say,
He's yelling at us right now. Stop being boring.
yes. Because I mean, you start off with talking about Canada, and then you went to Australia, and then you went back to Canada again. Like, that's not how the wood's supposed to do.
Those places suck. Why would you talk about them?
So, well, now of course we have the A-list in the chat. Tommy, who's a good friend
Tommy.
of Gobbles. Hello,
Tommy.
Tommy, sir. You have to do it with the right
Tommy.
exclamation point.
Tommy, can we get
Yeah.
Tommy in here?
Tommy.
Tommy.
No,
yeah,
he
we should.
sucks.
Do we have room?
You want to come hang out with me, Tommy? Just me?
Yeah. You
Forget about
can
these
join.
other guys. Just me. Just focus on me, Tommy.
Join the show and show us how it's done, sir.
Yeah, go on a date with me, Tommy. God.
Those would make sure that we would get proper union support.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, because he usually enforces that sort of thing. So for this show, I am drinking Hint Cellars. It is a red blend from Walla Walla, Washington, Walla Walla Valley AVA. It's a 2018 cultivar. There you go.
That's hot.
So
I'm
that's what
drinking
I'm
a
doing.
lovely black vintage from the vineyards of Pepsi.
Ooh.
Whoa. It's fancy shit.
So
Mhm.
it's almost a quarter past, and Tommy says that he might be able to join us in the last half hour. So
That's
that would
hot.
be in about an hour and a quarter. That would be cool.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That would be cool. So anyway,
That'd be fun. Yeah.
So what's been happening? What's interesting? Tell me a story.
All right. This one's yours, Red Eye. Go.
Oh man, put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Um,
Hurry. Give me a story while I refill my drink.
oh, I haven't got any stories. Sorry, I'm shit
Well,
out
tell
of luck
about
for stories.
tell about your tell me the story about your garden.
Oh no, my gardens. I haven't been looking after my garden. That's just a story of shame and neglect now.
But you were having some problems with your Millions, and somebody gave you a potential solution for that.
Yeah, just got some oil for black spot and white fly. Had a few bugs. So this nice lady gave me some a certain oil that you use, and it just annihilates them. So yeah, all the bugs died. It was like a bug apocalypse. I didn't give a shit. I just fucking I committed bug genocide, and I don't care.
Crazy.
I really don't care. I used to care. Now I don't. It's just like you're eating my plants. Now I'm going to claim your souls. If the bugs have souls, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's an
Don't
interesting
care.
question. Do bugs have souls?
Don't
What
care.
does the chat think? Tell me in the chat if you think bugs have souls.
Not that I care. Like I said, pretty sure that I stated I don't care if they do have souls at this
You
point.
do.
Yeah, but if they did, you wouldn't care either way.
Yeah, I wouldn't care. My care factor is nil.
So John Lewis Vegas says cold-blooded. Well, that's true. Bugs are cold-blooded, so you're right about that. And
I think humans don't have souls, but bugs do.
Huh.
That
That's
sounds
interesting.
about right.
But even so, Red Eye wouldn't care if they were bugs were eating his plants, because if they're eating the plants, then they can curl up and die.
Yeah, you eat my plants. That's like just declaring jihad on me. It's like, have at it then.
Mm.
I kill you.
I don't know. I think the genocide would be more fun if they did have souls.
I wouldn't care.
But in an area, right? It's kind of and I suspect there are bugs that are beneficial to the plants.
Oh yeah, ladybugs eat aphids. Certain ants farm.
Praying mantises.
Well, certain ants actually do farm bugs, leaf suckers. So The little bug, aphid or whatever, will eat the sap, and then it will excrete a sweet nectar-like substance that the ants eat. And the ants farm them like little fucking cows. So fuck those ants too. I kill them as well because they're farming fucking aphids that hurt my plants. So they're like in on this shit. Fuck those guys. Fucking kill them. Don't care. See how we're going here? There's a pattern. If you fuck with my plants, I kill you.
I'm sure they'll understand. The Wild Kingdom understands the concept of defending your territory, so they get it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, all right, pal, that was fair enough.
Then they go and have more babies and come back and fuck with my shit. And then I kill their babies. That's right. I kill bug babies. Now what?
Eat all the babies.
Yeah. Don't kill the little babies. It's like, no, they're bug babies. They must all die. Kill the bug babies.
And if you don't, they're going to turn into adult bugs and make more babies.
That's right. You have to kill their babies as well. So if you just kill one lot of babies, you can avoid baby genocide. Bug baby genocide.
It's just math, really.
Yeah. And I'm lazy. I don't like doing the thing over and over again. I just want to kill shit and then just go and play a video game where I can kill some shit.
That's one of the things you like.
I'm definitely seeing a theme
in your garden. Is you did some murdering of some plants that were displeasing you.
Oh yeah, fuck! I've murdered bromeliads. They looked at me funny. They were covered in disease. It's just like, everyone has to die. I purged about a third of my collection. They're just waiting to go in the bin because they looked at me funny and they pissed me off. And
but you also had other plants that were there before the bromeliads that put up a fight when you wanted to remove them.
Yeah, there's a couple of hidden treasures too. Not sure what sort of flower it is, but there's a couple of bulbs that come up and it's just flowered again. So I've got to get in and dig the garden right out and remove basically most of the plants that were in there and just redo it, because gardens are weird like that. They look really good for about 6 months and then they just look like shit again, and you got to go in and basically trim them right up and reset them. Things grow and then they get all like disorderly because they don't sort of stay the way that you wanted them to stay because they're fucking plants. And then the bugs come in and kill some, and you got to fucking have a bug jihad. It's like, oh goddamn. I recommend
gardeners
concrete, right? And
but then the concrete cracks. And,
well, that's all right. And you get that shit fixed and you spray poison on the concrete and go, fuck you, plants. But here's what you do. It was called, what was the fucking nickname for it? Tongue in cheek. A Greek lawn or something. And basically, some blokes in suburban areas in Australia, instead of just having a lawn, which is, it's nice, but it's also a really big waste of water. And so they'd concrete shit and paint it green. That's their lawn.
There you
just
go.
Concrete green.
I like what they do in Nevada where they have like a rock lawn.
Well, that's smart. Having something that you don't have to fucking mow.
Yeah.
Like mowing is having a grass lawn is the dumbest idea. It's like we could be growing either food or just have.
Oh, you should see the people that have grass lawns in Nevada. Looking at you, Celine Dion.
Are you
wasting all the water?
Wait, what? Like, I know I've seen golf courses in Nevada. I get that, but they also reclaim the water from the sewage to be able to do that, which was a smart way to do it. But you don't live in Nevada and have a green fucking lawn. You have a fucking
goddamn ginormous celebrity level lawn too. At that,
fuck that
water wasting.
Yeah, no, that's I think. Yeah,
the worst.
In the era of climate change, that shit should be really frowned upon and legislated against.
Yeah, I don't know if she still got it now, but last time I was in Nevada, it was still there, and that was a few years ago.
Look, you go to Nevada and you build a desert rock garden, like a mini rock mesa, and recreate that environment, because
that's what most people there have, and it actually looks quite nice.
Yeah,
and it's no maintenance at all.
Oh, that's the way to go. Like, I've actually proposed that we gravel or get some stones and just replace our lawn out the front with some stones, but the missus was not a fan of that idea. Oh, okay. Concrete is next. I was like, can we concrete? Just concrete the front yard. Fucking concrete it, paint it green.
Mhm.
Yeah. But no.
That way you still get to have your green, right?
Well, yep. It'll blend in with the neighbors. Stealthy.
So Landon, I'm curious. Why are you in a lodge? What are you up to?
Well, I am here reconnoitering, recuperating, reconsidering, and also I have some medical tests down this area needed to be at. So it's a combination of health and mental things and a little bit of
Health
exercise.
and a bit of a mental getaway. Yeah.
And an interesting spot. This is an old lodge that used to be a seminary. This what I take this history of was this wealthy person bought their way into the Catholic Church, bishop, and wanted to establish this as a preeminent seminary for training priests and so forth. Why did you turn it off? Turn back on. Come on. There we go. And so this thing was established, but it didn't last for very long, and then they had a declining enrollment, and it was turned over, and now it's a state park and a lodge. But they used to have priests and kids in this building. And
that's not usually a good combination.
Leave it at that. But anyway, and down in the bar, there was this picture of some priests and some seminary students. And again, we're not about college. We're actually young kids here as well. And had a picture of a globe, and somebody's putting a finger on it, and through a bunch of sleuthing and so forth, we're able to determine what the person was pointing at the globe and why. And so there's a little bit of geo-sleuthing and use of research librarians, other things. And so we gave them a little bit of insight into some of the things that happened here. So I'm here in this nice lodge, and we'll be for a couple more days. Tomorrow I have some dental work, which, speaking of dental work, Pimpmunk, who's not here, really needs some dental work. He's got an infection that's causing a lot of pain, and it's bad for his cardiovascular system, other things like that. He really needs, so if you could help donate, that money will go to help him recover and not die. I mean, it's something that could kill him if we're not careful.
Yeah, I don't mess with infections. Seriously, there seems to be a lot of dental work going around today. That's 3 people here today, or at least 2 people here and 1 person mentioned here today.
Yeah,
having some dental issues all at once. Crazy.
Mine is that there's been a train of these things, and tomorrow is sort of the conclusion of stuff. So I'm not in the situation for that. But there went the alleged Australian.
The robot shut down.
I think so. Maybe he rebooted. Any event. So Shabisky, your greatest tell us a story.
A story? Just a random story?
Yeah, tell us a random story.
Entertain us, sir.
Why you guys got to put me on the spot like this? God.
I don't know. It's almost like you're a co-host of the show or something.
Whoa, you shut the fuck up. Don't be giving me sass like that. You hear this shit?
Sass is why you guys brought me in, isn't it?
You're a sassy bitch. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm fatty.
I don't know. I always do bad when you guys put me on the spot to tell a story.
Well, you can think about a story for that. I tell you what, give me a topic and I'll tell you a story relating to that topic.
Butt sex.
Well, there was a situation where in my city, the mayor apparently was engaged in that with a small child. And
I was hoping a happy story.
You asked me a story.
Okay, keep going with
Is this about the priest again?
That at some point the kid, I think the kid sort of told somebody not, for I don't know if the kid was complaining or what the thing was, but it came out that this was happening and who it was, and so the local public safety people came in and brought him in for questioning, and the way they kind of determined something was to that, because they didn't know whether this kid was being told to try to fabricate something, maybe politically or something. But what they did is they took the kid's baseball cap and they had it on a table, and they brought the person in for questioning, just to talk about what was happening in the city and whether he knew of anything going on. And it was the people questioning him and this baseball cap, which he knew was associated with the kid, and he kept looking at the cap and he couldn't keep his eyes off it because he was, he didn't know why they were being brought in, and you're a public official, you get sued and stuff comes on, so it was not necessarily was brought in for questioning or deposition. That wasn't necessarily alarming thing, but going into the room and seeing this kid's baseball cap there, he knew it was belonged to, kind of, I guess it was distinctive in some way, kind of alarmed him, and he couldn't sort of help
feeling a wee bit guilty, were we?
Yeah.
And so then he kind of went into denial, where the police were saying, well, we weren't accusing anything, why are you denying something? And he kind of slipped up there, and so he went tried to go over to the city manager to tell them to stop bothering him, which was a crime as well. And then eventually he was booked into jail, and then was bounced off the city hall, convicted, put into prison, and he survived prison, and a lot of his survived prison was paying people for protection. And part of what he had to do was every night wrap a thick towel around his neck for protection, because people want to go and slit his throat. But allegedly he survived prison, and who knows where he is now.
Damn.
So that was my story about.
I like how they tricked him into giving himself away, though.
That was a pretty. I mean, I thought that was a pretty clever thing. So imagine if you're guilty of something, let's say, stealing some candy. And so what they do is they put a bit of candy on the table, right? You got to not, it's a guilty thing on there, but it's one of those, what I'm told.
Oh, Red Eye's back.
Hey, there he
allegedly.
is.
I'm told it's a technique. But anyway, so that's my story about butt sex.
I like it. So why is everything about Red apparently alleged and not just?
Because we're not sure if Australia really exists.
Oh no, we know for sure Australia doesn't exist. That's been proven.
Well, I think I went there a couple of times allegedly.
Yeah, you think you did.
Yeah, it was
That's what they want you to think.
You hallucinated that whole thing.
But let me tell you, though, it takes a lot of work to maintain the illusion for the people who actually live there. Yeah,
it's pretty good at getting the stars to switch around and getting the moon to invert. So that's a lot of work. That's really tricky. That's a lot of tricks.
Just a lighting rig.
but the other thing, of course, with Australia allegedly is that if you say allegedly, you can get away with saying things like, in my opinion, allegedly, Clive Palmer is a fatty McFuckface. You could say that allegedly, that Pauline Hanson is a cunt, right? If you say allegedly, you could say all kinds of things, but if you forget to say allegedly, then like allegedly, that koala killer is a really useless politician. Allegedly, you just say allegedly all the time, and everything gets forgiven. It's a get out of jail free card there.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's COVID fun in Australia. It's like every state except New South Wales is doing well, and Gladys Berejiklian's just given up. She's just going, "We have to learn to live with COVID. It's impossible to have 0 cases." And it's like, is that right? Because, well, guess what? As of about 5 days ago, because we locked down the day after we detected it in our sewage treatment plants, you know what we are back at, Gladys? We're back at 0 cases per day for COVID D variant. Guess what you're sitting at now? Nearly 500 cases a day and about 6 deaths a day. Congratulations, lady. But you can't fucking get rid of it once it's in your fucking community. Bullshit, you fucking slack prick. Get fucked, Gladys. Get wrecked. Anyway,
500 cases a day is what you get when you give up and stop trying to protect yourself.
Oh, and that went up from fucking 10, 20, 40, 80, 112. Watch, it's exponentially spreading through their state. But here's what's happened now. Our state's just brought in a regulation where even if you're an essential worker, if you have not had your first dose of COVID-19 vaccine, get fucked. You cannot come into our state now. That's even essential workers. So don't we've basically slapped up a brick wall. And in America, I've learnt, you guys can't do that at a state level. So if let's just say you're in one state and the state next door is just utterly being decimated by COVID and you want to put up a roadblock, you legally can't do that in America. And that's kind of fucked up, that states can't protect themselves from other states that are giving up, kind of like what's happened with New South Wales.
Come on.
Yeah.
Would you call me? Gotta shut the fuck
Called you
up.
a sweet
and,
boy.
I'm gonna come over there and rip that hat off and give you a kiss, bitch.
Yeah,
So yes, the interstate commerce clause amongst
No,
things.
the hat stays on while we kiss.
Oh,
sorry.
that's
babe.
weird, but kinky and kind of sexy.
But so is this beanie?
Yeah.
No, whenever I kiss, I take the beanie off.
Yeah.
I'll show
Really?
you, Landon. Yeah, I'll show you.
Oh shit.
Now I've seen
there
him
anything underneath?
online once without the.
Yeah, it's all just bald. Landon knows.
Dang.
Clean.
I have.
Yeah,
I have. I
just
took
like
a
that.
picture.
Yeah,
See,
Exactly.
You'll need
there's
a
just
haircut.
one
Pith
big
helmet under a
cube in
pith
the middle.
helmet. But
I definitely need a
anyway,
haircut.
anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
It
good
looks like
news
that
is
you've got that ridge down the middle there.
Yeah,
Me?
there is.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Botzilla.
I've got one of those on my face too.
But any event, yes. So U.S. In fact, there was a landmark Supreme Court case back in the 1930s during something called the Dust Bowl, where there were a lot of refugees from places like Oklahoma that were trying to come out west. You know the Beverly Hillbillies, that sort of meme of they were kind of part of that quintessential sort of what they were collective called Okies coming to, from Oklahoma, Texas, escaping essentially what was a really bad, climate situation and drought situation. So state of California put up laws essentially said that indigent people, migrants, people, homeless people from Oklahoma, Texas couldn't come to California. And someone sued and the Supreme Court said, state of California, you can't do it. In fact, state can't block other people from when they come into that state. Now, what you can do is regulation, to put regulation on this saying, if you come in, you need to quarantine, blah, 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 but you can't prohibit them from coming over. So that's unfortunately, that's pretty well baked in the Constitution, and unfortunately the Supreme Court, correctly interpreted. So we can't do that.
You need to amend your fucking constitution to allow states to be able to close their borders to other states that become plague states. Because, for instance, if I was a state next door to the state that had Sturgis, I'd close my fucking border to that state for 2 weeks before and after Sturgis and go, fuck all you idiots, you go the long way around to get to your plague event and your super spreader event, you stupid cunts. Fuck the lot of you. And if all the states could do that, imagine if you were the states ringing around the state that had Sturgis and you just cock block them from fucking at getting all their reservoirs to come in to fucking do the super spreader event. That'd be great.
No.
But
This is part of the problem of why, these people that are refusing to take the pandemic seriously are creating problems for in the U.S. right, and it means that once I'm able to go over into Canada, I will be looked at with suspicion because I'm coming from a country that has too many COVIDiots in it.
We've just had a study done, and
Way
because
too many.
there's just enough anti-vaxxers, herd immunity will be impossible in Australia for COVID. Impossible. So,
And
how's that for a fucking kick to the guts?
That's a hell of a lot of anti-vaxxers. Jesus.
I would say that the issue of some would say, yeah, well, they deserve to get Darwin stuff. The problem with that thinking is several. I mean, first of all, it's inhumane to wish the plague on other people. The second thing is that it's not like it's only lethal for a couple percent. There's a bulk of people who get it that don't have that have long tails of stuff, and they're going to be a hospital burden, and it causes some long-term health problems for a country whose national health care is such a national crisis, right, in the U.S. Having more health problems is not what we need. But sadly, you have places like the governor of Florida, the governor of Texas, who take pride in essentially not taking the pandemic seriously.
Your personal freedoms are more important than the continued existence of your species. It's like, okay, that's nice. And
there's
society
not
not
that attitude, isn't there?
Yeah, like that's the problem in New South Wales. It's a conservative government, and she was fucking so. She's been recorded saying we're not going to lock down again. That's our last lockdown. And what happened when and she put off fucking locking down for so long that it didn't really matter when it happened. Now they've got the army patrolling the streets in Sydney trying to keep people indoors because the feds have just said, because New South Wales come out and gave up about a week ago. They just said, well, we're just going to have to learn to live with the virus in the community. And the fucking federal health minister just came out and went, bullshit, like fuck we do. You idiots might. We'll wall you off and leave you to your own fucking fate, then you stupid cunts in New South. And the vast majority of citizens in New South Wales did the right thing. It's this small handful of cocknobs that have fucking screwed the pooch for them, mate. And now they're blocked off from the rest of Australia, and they're going to be blocked off to way after Christmas. No fucking way anyone's going to New South Wales to see their family this Christmas. That's because of Gladys Berejiklian. Send her a letter. Send her a Christmas card saying, thanks, you koala-killing plague queen cunt.
You can't go see your family when your family's dead.
Yeah, she's the fucking plague queen. She's the one that let the Ruby Princess dock. She let those fucking people get off that fucking boat and travel throughout Australia spreading COVID the first time. And now she let D variant into the fucking country, and it's gone. And she's a raging cunt, that woman. And she's also corrupt as fuck. Not allegedly. You are corrupt, Gladys Berejiklian. Get fucked.
She goes la 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 la. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
When her lover, her break the marriage bond.
Her beloved. Remember, in
her
Armenia.
Beloved.
That's
her
right.
beloved, allegedly.
So when are you guys going to go drag her out of office?
Well, you can't because she's got titty privilege. She's been caught. Her boyfriend's been caught playing the game. She's been caught with her fingers in pies that she shouldn't have had her fingers in pies. She's been caught talking about corrupt things with her ex-boyfriend, and she's still the fucking premier because she's got tits.
And
if she was a male, she would have been rolled straight out of office.
Is even more corrupt, right?
Barilaro. Friendly Geordies is actually having a court case with Barilaro right now, so keep an eye on that because they've got $1 million worth of funding to go up against the fucking deputy premier. It's going to be a fun fight. But Gladys Berejiklian is the worst premier New South Wales has ever had in my living memory, and she's killed a lot of people indirectly. And that's not my opinion. That's a fucking fact.
So, by the way, hello, double not 6 space. Good to see you. Hi there, John. And Shabisky's in the chat. Did you see that?
Hey, Shabisky's here tonight. When did he
Yeah.
get here?
I don't know.
You shut the fuck up, Krindar. Okay, and you take a big fat dab. Do it right now. Do it.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah, not that. Oh,
kick him off the show.
yeah. What the fuck? We're trying to bring in more viewers, not scare them away, Krinder.
Oh,
Well, it was
man.
your idea.
Yeah.
Don't yell at me if you don't like the result.
Got to do the
Shabby.
cool kind of dab.
No, that was
I
actually
have one of
Shabby's
those.
fault. That's Shab's fault. You left the door open for that dab to take place then, so you suck, Shabby.
I mean, he got exactly what he asked for.
You did. You
Okay,
fucking did.
So let's give Shabisky a story subject and give him time so he can think about it while he's
All right.
taking his medicine.
I got this. The subject of your story is erect penises.
So think about that.
That goes well with our other story earlier.
Meanwhile,
Hmm.
so Gunders, tell us a story, and if you want, I can give you a random story subject, or you can pick it yourself.
Let's go with the random one. Let's try that.
Tell a story having something to do about glasses, or cups and
Ooh.
mugs, or anything. That's where.
I got a short one I can tell you on the
Go for it.
adjacent topic of glasses.
Okay. Yes. Good one. Okay. Go for it.
So you may not be able to tell by looking at me, but I have worn glasses for 34 years until it was approximately, I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I went and got some lasers fired into my eyes.
Pew 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 pew.
I paid a man a lot of money to fry my eyeballs, and now.
So while the lasers are going in, could you see them?
Actually, in a sense, yes, because like your whole vision basically just becomes this bright light, like you're staring into a light bulb for a second there, and it smells kind of like burnt hair while it's happening.
And do you blink, or do they stop you from blinking, or what's the?
That's the interesting thing is they actually don't do anything to stop you from blinking. They say that there's some sort of software and hardware in the thing, so that like if you start to blink, it'll sense it and stop. Same with if you move.
Yeah, it'll sync up and it'll have a motion sensor and it'll track your eyeball and they'll map it. And as soon as it goes to do its blink, it'll turn off by the time your eye shuts and opens back up, and then it'll go pew, and you won't probably even notice that there was a break in the light.
Mind you, I sure as hell didn't feel like testing that theory, so I just made sure that I stayed still, kept my eyes open, because the laser only really has the duration of the laser is maybe like 6 or 7 seconds tops, 10 maybe.
No, I couldn't do that. They'd have to knock me the fuck out and just rip my eyeballs open to do it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was making good use of the 2 stress balls they gave me for each hand. I was just like,
oh yeah, I would have snapped those things off, freaking the fuck out.
It was funny. Afterwards, the doctor told me, "I was like, you seem remarkably calm throughout all this," and I'm telling him, "Oh no, I'm not. I just look that way on the outside."
So that was sort of your removal of glasses. Also.
Yeah, it was glasses adjacent.
So Shabisky, are you ready to tell that story, or should we get another story? I could tell
something that I've told on the streams. Maybe you guys, a couple of you guys haven't heard it or whatever. You said it had to do with boners, and you went in a sick direction with it. So I guess I'm gonna go in. Why not? Fucking okay. So when I was like when I was in the 5th grade, I had a teacher. His name was Mr. Zana. And some of my viewers know about this. I've talked about it recently, but his name was Mr. Zana, and he was a pretty like big guy. From what I remember, he was like 6 foot, like 4 or 5 or something. And he was always really weird with all the girls in the class. He was too close with them and whatever. They'd sit on his lap and they'd be he'd be too touchy and close with them and stuff. And I always used to fight with him. There was only like there's only two boys in the class, like me and one other boy, and we'd always have problems with him. He hated us. And one day he sent me up to the principal's office because I was in trouble, and I talked to her and I told her that he's weird with all the girls in there. It's weird how they act and everything. Her response was, "Oh no, both of his parents were teachers, and he's been a teacher for this long, and blah blah blah."
As if that means anything.
Yeah, and she just brushed it off like it was nothing. And again, that was in the 5th grade, and then we skip like into the future when I'm like 17 years old. And one day I'm just sitting there playing video games and stuff, and my mom calls me into her room, "Anthony." And I go in there and she points at the screen, and there he is on the screen getting arrested for not just child porn, but he was molesting. He was like touching girls and stuff. And he always used to give out Jolly Ranchers to the class, right? And when I was reading up on him, there was a story of one of the girls going up to him and asking him for a Jolly Rancher. And he took a Jolly Rancher and put it in his pocket and said, "Go ahead, get it."
Oh,
and yeah, that's a story.
She went tee and got it.
She said what I read in the story was she reached in, she felt something, and that's what reminded me of erect penises. Landon.
Wow.
I like how both of our weird sex stories today have ended up involving molesters. Oh dear.
So Red Eye, tell us a story about caffeine.
Caffeine. Well, I'm a horrible caffeine addict, and I suspect if I try to stop ingesting the thousands of milligrams of caffeine that I ingest every day, that I'll die. So I've actually been reading up on caffeine withdrawals, and it's like, here's the kicker. So I'm going to get a screaming headache about 12 hours in, and it's going to last anywhere from 2 to fucking 14 days. And these aren't nice headaches. Like, headaches I can usually handle, but these caffeine withdrawal headaches fucking hurt. And you need really strong painkillers. You can't get really strong painkillers off the shelf in Australia anymore, thanks to all the assholes making other drugs with them. So you've got to go to the doctors now to get anything stronger than a paracetamol. And I need to get 2 weeks worth of basically heavy duty fucking painkillers, and odds are the doctors won't give them to me because they'll go, no, that's too long a supply and you might make some drugs with them. So I'm looking for alternative methods to nullify pain. And the only thing I'm coming up with is ice cold wraps to try and reduce the blood flow to your head. So I might be sitting in a dark room for 2 weeks.
Slowly cut back, mate, instead? Like just sort of wean yourself off it slowly?
Yeah, but even then you hit a point where you're going to start getting a headache. Like right now, I've only had one energy drink in the last 12 hours and it's beginning. I can feel it. It's like, don't drink caffeine if you can avoid caffeine. It's such a fucking evil thing to give up. And they don't, it's not widely known.
I almost never have caffeine at all.
It's shit. It's my one big regret is being a sugar junkie.
Like, even this, I specifically buy the caffeine-free stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to start making efforts to wean myself off the shit because it's.
Yeah, if I have caffeine anywhere within 7 hours before I go to bed, I will not be able to sleep.
Yeah,
that does. Because I've got so much caffeine in my system constantly now. If I don't have enough, I can't sleep. It's fucking
exactly.
mad, but it's a vicious cycle of I need caffeine, sugar and caffeine.
I think I have something with caffeine in it maybe once a month.
Yeah,
maybe twice.
It's flooded with the shit. It's like the doctors would be going, Yeah, that's lethal amounts of caffeine. That's enough caffeine to kill a cat. What are you doing?
I don't even do morning coffee or anything.
Yeah. So you can give me a subject, or we can ask the chat for a subject.
Let's ask chat.
Okay, chat. Give me a subject for a story, and I will try to tell you a story that's as related to the subject as possible. And try something interesting as opposed to the usual stuff like penises and that sort of thing.
I don't know. Shabby's story was pretty good.
No poop butts.
Yeah, it was invented, but try public urination. Okay. It was in public, though not quite what you think. So I was in Botswana, and I was, practicing, in fact, to be able to write Pimpmunk's name, because Pimpmunk later on was going to go to Antarctica, and Pimpmunk wanted his name peed in near the South Pole.
That sounds like something Pimpmunk would want. Yeah.
Yeah, and it did happen, but that's a different story, right? So but one of the things in particular, out in the bush is you because you don't know. Come on, stop! I want this light to stay on at least. So I have some. Sorry about that. So Briggy, when you're not familiar out in the bush, you have other people go and say, hey, you can go over here, it's safe. Now, going over this place, even though they tell you it's safe, one of the things you have to be careful about is what you're stepping on. Because there are certain types of ants and bugs, if you just stand in one place and you haven't watched where you are, that can start to crawl up your leg. And you kind of know about it a little bit too late when one of them tried to bite you. And what's once you realize you've got them crawling up in there, that is a whole big problem because it hurts, and every little thing you imagine is going to bite you. I mean, it's like a whole bunch of needles just waiting to go at you. So once you've suffered that thing, you end up knowing if it's a place you haven't really scouted and it's got plants and so forth, you keep your feet moving, right? You try not to keep your foot down because then stuff can crawl up.
Well, that's going to throw off your aim while you're peeing.
Which is a bit of a thing, and a bit of a problem because you're going to write Pimpmunk in there. But you try to practicing. So I was there was an area where it was clear to go around the bush. So I was with the group in a camp, but around the other side, cleared to go around and say, yeah, we can go around there. And so I'm there doing my dance for more than one reason, getting ready to go. And and of course, out of your eye, you see things like when you're out there looking for like giraffes, and you keep thinking you see a giraffe, but it's actually a termite mound of an old tree or something like that. So you see things you don't imagine. And one of the things I saw when I'm doing the dance thing was there's a log that looks awful lot like a leopard, because leopards, they like to sit on things and kind of drape themselves around. This particular log looked an awful lot like a leopard. And while looking at the log, remarking how much it looks like a leopard, the leopard's head turns towards me.
Oh, hi.
And see this hairy monkey. And so I say, there's a leopard here, to which the guide says, pee on it. And so the plumbing was already getting ready, and I was more thinking about writing a name, but there's a leopard here, and so I let it.
I might have been about to do that involuntarily anyways. Just scared the piss out of me.
And in fact, it was beautiful because it was a good. Because I'd been practicing, right, trying to write names. I was actually pretty good at aim, and so I just. I mean, you think about Mr. Kitty coming right smack dab on the porch, and
And that apparently was the right thing to do. In fact, it's one of the things that apparently that baboons do to try to get a leopard away from the area. It doesn't like to be peed on for some reason.
I can't imagine.
Now, what you don't want to do is say, "Oh dear, the leopard, let me get away with it," because that motion is something that they go after. So being peed on was the right thing to do, and so I pissed a leopard. The leopard pissed off, and I'm here to tell about it. Now, it was public as far as the leopard goes, and the other people were just around the other side of the bush, so it was public. But there you go, public urination.
Semi-public, yeah. Why not? Close enough.
That's hot, dude. I want to go pee in public. I want to be just
go pee on a leopard, Shabisky.
I'm gonna go pee on my cat. That's the closest thing I can do.
I don't think the cat would appreciate that.
I want to be like you, Landon. One step at a time, okay?
But that was
Baby
because you
steps.
tried to get the to go away, right? And leave you alone.
I'll start with a kitty. I'll work my way up to leopard.
By the way, I like the fact that Shabisky smokes so much that he had a chimney installed in his room.
It's true. It's true. There's a lot of smoke that I make on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Right
eating
up there,
pizza,
yes.
guys.
Stop pizza.
He's eating pizza with a fork.
Yeah, I'm not talking to him for the rest of the show. Fuck him.
Is Tommy here? Does Tommy know about this?
Fucking
Tommy
heresy.
taught me this.
Yeah.
What?
Bullshit.
Yeah, he
Bullshit.
told me that's the correct way to eat a pizza.
No, you guys, no. See, Pimp was proud of you, but he typed that in just before he saw you eating fucking pizza with a fork.
I'm eating pizza with a fork, pal, like a true gentleman, like our still, current president.
And Pimpmunk's in the
Yeah, but
chat.
are you remembering to keep your pinky out while you're doing it? That's gotta be real gentleman.
Do that whole thing. But Pimpmunk's in the chat, and folks, if you could consider tipping, he has got dental work that needs to be worked on, and that money would
He needs money
help.
for his face.
Yes. Help support Pimpmunk's face, if you please.
Put your money directly into his mouth.
Oh,
there you go.
Put your tip in his mouth. He's gonna love it. Oh yeah, it's gonna be hot. I could just stick my tip in your mouth and just knock that tooth out or whatever real quick for you. Pyong.
Yeah, but it's so big he'd lose all of his teeth then.
That's true. Whatever. He doesn't need those things.
You kidding? You'd just be flossing.
He might be flossing his teeth.
You floss his fucking teeth with your wiener. That's about it.
At least, and then all of a sudden the infection goes away. That's all that was needed.
I mean,
it's a good
maybe that's how he got the infection. Hasn't been flossing.
Yeah. You haven't been letting me floss your teeth, Pat. What's wrong?
I can just picture Shabisky with his drawers around his knees, humping Pimp's face like a fucking chimpanzee.
Yeah, so definitely please tip, because it is coming up on to the next hour, and I guess somebody's supposed to say, Shabisky, what do we do
in the second hour?
In the second hour,
what do we do in the second hour, red guy?
I don't know. What do we do in the second hour, Landon?
We demand.
Wow.
You're not Landon. That's it. Grab him and pull his penis, guys.
Wow.
Teach this guy a lesson.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't pull that. Oh no!
Oh, no, don't tuck my penis. No. Oh no! Don't stuck it now.
Hour is going up here in about 15 seconds or so. So if you could do some of that result of things that you appreciate. Otherwise he'll say we suck and
he's gonna say that anyway, but
he'll say it with feeling.
And if Pimpmunk,
this is the part of the show where we tell you to give Pimp money and you do.
Yeah.
If you have access to your computer, Pimp, you should also send me that Streamlabs thing I told you about. Either the alerts or the event list. Let's see. Yeah, you can send me the event list, the link for that, and then I can see when donations come in.
Because it might have been donations, we don't know it. So if you have donated, sorry, Trademark Canada.
You just gotta let us know in the chat. Sorry.
We appreciate it.
So while people are contemplating how to tip, how about the chat suggest a subject for Krendar not having anything to do with bodily functions of any sort? So some
subject, their ideas.
Some subject not body related as a story for him to somebody type in a subject someplace. So John was going to ask, isn't that the way they eat pizza in Australia? Do they use
allegedly
knife and forks in Australia? Allegedly.
Pimp, can you upgrade me to channel manager so I can fucking time John Lewis Vega out? Because or take his wrench off him so I can do it. Either way,
he's the greatest.
No, we don't eat pizzas like fucking heathens.
Australians love eating pizza with forks.
We are not
That's
fucking heretical when it comes to pizzas. Unlike my fucking uneducated dolt of a friend here, Shabisky, who likes to get his trump on.
That face,
basically. Right? See, look how Trumpian of him.
All right, so
I could pull off a good clown, right? If I painted my face, I could be a scary clown.
Yeah.
Yes.
Scary is the only kind of clown there is.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your
there's a good question though. Do your eyes get all watery and itchy after the laser surgery? For the first 2 or 3 days, yeah. Actually, not itchy as much, but a bit watery. Like especially the first day, my eyes were burning like crazy for the first day. Thankfully, they gave you some drops for that, but I pretty much just went right back to bed after I got home from the surgery, even though it was like 4 in the afternoon.
So is Lord Rainman 666 suggesting a story about mashed
dolphins,
potato knives? Okay, so either dolphins. Well, there's dolphins and there's mashed potato knives.
Mashed potato knives.
Now you were explicitly asked to tell a story about mashed potato knives.
All right, I can do that. Well, especially because I don't have a story about dolphins anyways. And the fun thing is, Half Bird Ninja is a friend of mine, and she knows that I have a story about having cut myself on mashed potatoes.
On mashed potatoes?
Yes. So I used to work at a restaurant as the dishwasher, and typically during lunch shifts. And, one of the things we served a lot of was mashed potatoes. So when you're in a restaurant, you basically have like a big metal cylinder that you put all your mashed potatoes into so that you can just scoop it out when you need to when you're ready. So, of course, the sides end up getting covered in mashed potato, right? Because you're scooping it all out. And it's sitting there on the counter for like 2-3 hours. So the stuff that's on the sides towards the end of service when things are getting slow starts to dry up and get all crusty. So by the time it comes over here, it's time for me to wash this thing off, the sides of this container are covered in dried, crusted, super hard mashed potato. And you know the way mashed potato is on the side of a container. When you've been scooping, it's got like all these like little curls and scoops and waves to it. Those become like knives when they're all dried up.
Really?
So like I went to just like, I didn't realize how much it was hardened at the time. So I went to just scoop it off with my hand because I would do that a lot to just get stuff off of. Because I'm basically, when you're dishwashing in a restaurant, you're not really just sitting there with a sink full of soapy water, right? You're just getting all the food off the plates and then you're putting it through a machine that does it real quick. So you're just trying to get the food residue off. At first, you're not hand washing it completely. So if there's something on the inside of it, I would just scoop it off with my hand because I was constantly having to rinse my hands off anyway. So it didn't matter if I got my hands dirty. I'm constantly rinsing them. So I go to scoop it off with my hands and just like scrape across like knife-like protrusions. It's almost like a cheese grater at that point. And that's like, holy shit, I just cut myself with mashed potatoes. That's a first.
Wow. I've never heard of that, but
But now you think about the hardness of stuff. I can imagine if it's pretty good baked on, it could be pretty slicey.
Yeah, you leave that stuff sitting there for a little while untouched, and it will harden up on you.
I wouldn't brag about this, Crinder.
But it wasn't a brag.
I wouldn't go around.
It was a
I wouldn't go around
service
telling
announcement.
everybody that mashed potatoes fucked me up, Crinder.
I don't know. I think it's a funny story.
It's a
You look
public
like a
service
pussy to
announcement.
me.
Well, that's
Next
You
time-
love a potato.
I have to wash and there's mashed potatoes involved. I'm going to be careful.
There you go.
Yeah.
At least gently test them for how much is hardened up first, anyway. But the thing is, Shabisky, when you work in a restaurant, you end up cutting yourselves on things that you don't expect to cut you because you know what you're supposed to watch out for. You don't cut yourself on a knife in a restaurant because you know to be careful with that shit. It's the mashed potatoes and shit like that get you.
You get a
Or the
mashed
steel
potatoes infection.
I made sure I rinsed it out immediately.
Good.
So no.
Got all the dried mashed potatoes out of the wound.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a funny story though.
I did not expect that shit at all. It got me.
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure we've woken up in Bizarro land. So there's a news article has just come out. It says this Landon's going to love this article. China ready for friendly relations with Taliban, calls on US to seriously reflect on Afghanistan. Holy fucking shit.
Fuck
I've woken
yeah,
up
that
in
sounds
Bizarro
about right.
universe.
Oh man.
They might be careful what they wish for because they might have a deeper relationship with Taliban along the Silk Road going into Xinjiang province where the Uyghurs are, then they might appreciate
Whoa.
What are? Whoa.
You can't just call people Uyghurs.
Dude, a
That's
Taliban
messed up,
official
Landon.
a Taliban official met with the Chinese last month, and the Chinese last month pledged to have friendly relations, and they have offered to economic support and investment for Afghanistan's reconstruction. Holy fucking shitballs. America hadn't even left the building, and China was in because they share a 76-kilometer piece of border with Afghanistan, and that's their road in. It's this narrow stretch. They're going to start. Oh, fuck off.
Because if you look
Holy
at it, it's
shit.
shape of Afghanistan, they got this little thingy, this little dangly bit. And that's the end of the dangly bit is China.
Yeah. Xinjiang province. Wow. So a top-level Taliban delegation met the Chinese foreign minister last month, promising that Afghanistan would not be used as a base for militants, and in exchange, China has offered economics. So they've basically got an agreement. Don't support the Uyghurs that are trying to have a little insurrection in Xinjiang province, and we will funnel in a whole bunch of stuff so you can start rebuilding your country in your vision. Wow.
I've
Damn,
heard some of
China.
that vision already too. It's as disgusting as you're going to expect out of them.
Yeah, they're publicly saying we're going to respect the rights of women, and from what I've heard, they're already going around the capital gathering up lists of girls that are 15 years old to marry fighters. It's like, you fucking pricks.
Yep. I heard somebody
pricks.
joke that they've discovered a solution to the incels.
Oh yeah.
That's sad. So,
No.
So dolphins.
Wow.
I think the thing that when it comes on is dolphins is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series.
So long. Thanks for all the fish.
Yep.
And particularly, the second smartest creatures, I believe, were considered to be the dolphins. And one of the books that describes mice and dolphins and so forth, I won't give away the plot if you haven't read it, that was signed and annotated sarcastically by the author, is in Building 42 at what was then Silicon Graphics campus, now Google's campus. And it's hidden in a place, and people still have not found the location of that book. So those people that are involved in Google, use some of your sciencey bits and see if you can discover where in Building 42 the book that talks about the importance of dolphins and mice and other things that they took off and thank humans for all the fish are there, and why dolphins were doing the various things they were doing in amusement parks. It explains all that stuff. So that's my story relating to dolphin.
If anybody out there has not read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, go do it right now.
Yeah, I watched the original series from England. That was I like that.
Oh yeah, the good version. Yeah,
yeah. The way they did Zaphod Beeblebrox in the movie, it was cool, but the original, even though it was just like cheesy effects and you could tell the head was like, it still, I don't know, just fucking. I like the original better. The original
from
Zaphod
the books, Zaphod was the essence of cheese.
Yeah,
I like the main two characters in the original BBC one. What was it Ford and what was the other guy's name?
Yeah, Ford Prefix. But those are the characters that are also throughout.
Yeah, Arthur Dent.
Very good. Arthur Dent. Yeah. Those two did a great job in the BBC one.
Let's go down the pub for a pint. He says, we can't go there. I'm about to flatten my house. And Eddie's just like, dude, none of this is going to matter in about 15 minutes. We really need to go down and have a pint.
Yeah.
And it's like, then what was it? The Vogon fucking constructor fleet. It's like, if we left a notice out at Pluto or somewhere about how we're building the hypergalactic fucking expressway through here.
You've had years to complain about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, you should read that sort of thing. So that's my dolphin story for that. So
covered.
Now we need a story for Red Eye allegedly. What would be a good Red Eye subject for him to talk about? Chat. You could think about that. He's talked about that, but he could. I imagine he'd think of a story.
I could tell you about a dolphin story. So surfing at a place called Byron Bay, which is the most easterly point on the Australian coast, has a lighthouse up there, and there's a bunch of really nice beaches there. Waddigos is a really nice point break. So we're up on the lighthouse looking right over at the easterly point, and there's like Waddigos is on one side of the headland, and then there's another really good beach break on the other side. But between the two, you look down and you start seeing these shapes, and you realize pretty soon, oh, they're fucking sharks. So there's like surfers, a couple hundred meters that side, couple hundred meters that side, and there's these sharks just going wah, 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 swimming around the headland, and they can just swim off to either side of the beach at will at any fucking time. But they're just hanging around the headland. So I've seen these sharks, and then everybody says, let's go surfing at Waddigos. So we paddle out to Waddigos, and it's like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. And a few years before that, a diver was taken by a great white shark out at Julian Rocks, which is several hundred meters off the point break that we're surfing. So I'm a little bit nervous because we don't usually surf there. And I'm paddling out, and in a wave in front of me, you just see this fucking dark shape and a dorsal fin. And for about 3 seconds, I'm shitting myself until my brain registers, does the pattern recognition. It's a fucking dolphin. Dolphins surf. Did you know? I don't know if everyone knows this, but dolphins and whales and other things do things for pleasure. They masturbate. Whales fucking masturbate. So do dolphins. But dolphins surf. If you've ever seen them near a boat, they get in the boat waves and they just start surfing. Well, they get on beach breaks and fucking surf too. And that's what these pot of dolphins were doing. They joined us and were surfing with us. But when I didn't realize they were there at first. And when you just see a silhouette of a shape that's with a dorsal fin, you go, ah, until I realized it was going along with the wave. And sharks don't usually do that. They'll swim. You'll see a shark when a wave's about to break, and you'll see the silhouette of the shark swimming behind it, but it won't be swimming along with the wave usually. Whereas a dolphin will fucking be surfing, dude. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, shit my pants. And the other time I've been surfing, there was a bunch of bait fish, and we're about 250 meters off the beach, and there's a big gutter between the back break and the shore up there. And bait fish start jumping, and then this plastic bag gets flicked out of the water because a shark came up and fucking took a big chomp of bait fish and slapped the surface, and there was a plastic bag there. Launched the plastic bag in the air. Didn't we shit our pants? We fucking paddled so fucking quick. But we were really lucky because there was bait fish there and the shark had something to eat. If it was hungry, it might have been a bit inquisitive and had a taste of us. But yeah,
a little curious nibble.
There's been a definite rise in shark attacks in the last 12 months, 18 months too, in Australia. Seeing more and more people get nommed on. Nom, nom, nom.
Come
There's
home
ice.
in the foot.
Yeah, there's this one place where there was 2 or 3 attacks at the same beach within a few weeks. It was like that was statistically so unlikely. Luckily, the first dude that got bit, he was swimming around with a bunch of friends who were all doctors on holiday. So they just basically, as soon as he got bit, they got him in and tourniqueted and saved his life instantly. Yeah, he was all right. So if you're on holiday and you're going swimming in sharky waters, go on holiday with trauma surgeons and the like, because they'll save you.
Seriously.
So Lord Rainman 666 says Red Eye Robot robbery.
Robbery.
But for Shabisky, a 0006 space is suggesting a story about a violin or a cello or some kind of stringed instrument. Any sort of thing you can do with regards to violin, bass, viola, cello, string instrument, any kind of thing.
You should tell them about the epic fucking saga of Egghead and how he broke your heart when he unfollowed you, and what happened. There was this outpouring of emotion and a spontaneous performance that happened, and it was one of the most beautiful sagas that has ever been recited in the history of mankind. I was there.
Yeah. Egghead came through to my stream, and then I started asking Egghead why he unfollowed me, and told him it hurt my feelings, and I'm really emotional about it and stuff, and then like I told him that he broke my heart, and you know what he instantly started talking about as soon as I mentioned heart. What you think of what he possibly started going on about as soon as I mentioned heart?
The musical group Heart. He was talking about that.
Now
he started going on about his heart condition in the chat, and he said that he had I think he said something like a 50% chance of dying from what was it? But it's what people really normally die from with heart, like heart. Was it heart disease that he said?
Coronary artery,
or was
disease?
I forget what he said.
It's something that most people die from anyways. But
heart attack.
But I had to be real with them at that point and just start like telling them how he takes any opportunity he can to try to like make people feel bad for him or something, get some sympathy points. Yeah. And then cool bot guy Zilla here started playing his phone and playing some violin music and stuff as I went. You'd have to be there to hear it, but I started going on along with the music, beautiful. Saying like, "Oh, Egghead, you've destroyed me. How could you do this to me?"
You know what Egghead did to break my heart?
What did he do?
He never followed me in the first place.
What a fucking prick! And you're the nicest guy ever,
right?
You're a sweetie pie. I followed you instantly. You know why?
You did.
Because I want to fuck. I mean, because you're nice. not anything else.
Tuesday night.
All right.
He's nice even for a Canadian.
Yeah, even for a fucking piece of shit Canadian.
Man, this is an injustice. I want everybody on Twitter right now. Tweet Egghead saying, "What the fuck, Egghead? Why aren't you following fucking Krendar?
Why aren't you following Krendar?
Unacceptable." Right?
That guy.
What the fuck, man? So get on Twitter. We're going to raise awareness about this. Tell the world about this injustice, because this is fucked up.
Do your duty.
Can't believe he would do that to me.
What are you going to do, bro? Like that?
How could he possibly insult this person that he's never heard of before?
Wow,
what a jerk!
We're gonna fix this problem. And you know what, he better fucking sub to fucking Lev as well, or else there's going to be some real problems. So I want to see him sub to everybody and follow them on Twitter, or else
that's right.
We're going to cancel you, Egghead. We're going to cancel you, man. Cancel. cancel you. We will. That's not just an idle threat. Actually, it probably is, because that would involve effort, and I'm incredibly lazy. So
That's the best thing about a call to action, though, is you're getting people to do the thing for you.
Yeah. It's like I'll instigate the son of a bitch, and then I'll walk away from it. It's like, just, that's how you do it. Apparently, that's what
no
God
effort
did.
and deniability. It's perfect.
Yeah, just like, I didn't do it. I just talked to some people, and then they did it.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
Exactly.
All right. So folks here in the show, give me a subject to tell a story about. Something creative, not
Squirt.
Okay. You're
Squirt.
rude. Go sit in the back.
You told that story already.
Can you say
He's
squirt?
He's already told a pee story. So
Yeah,
that's
so I was
Yeah.
talking about a different thing.
Yeah, you can
Baby
just
Carrot
go.
wants to know if you said squirt.
You can just go sub to a
I'll
certain
squirt on
person's
you.
new
Shut up.
Discord and have fun there. Go on, off you go. See you later.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
We need to
All right.
reset this
Nope.
fucking robot.
Racing Scroll says butterflies.
Schmetterling.
Schmetterling.
The Schmetterling.
Yep.
Look at the beautiful schmetterling.
So you want me to tell you a story about squirt?
Yeah.
Squirting butterflies.
Well,
Yeah.
in college, one of the things that we would do to squirt people with water, because it turned out if they see you coming with a squirt, squirt gun and so forth, they can get out of the way. You need to be more stealthy. And what we discovered in the lab is, the hoses they use to connect the gas to a Bunsen burner, or those hoses that they have. Those are really good for storing pressure, right? And in fact, you can take a clamp. You can get a segment of there about 2 meters or so, and you can clamp one end and you jam it into a water jet, and you actually could balloon it up to a relatively reasonable thickness, right? That it's normally small, and you can build up pressure and then put a clamp on the other side with a valve, and then you can take that hose and kind of wrap it around you over your shirt, so you look innocent, right? And you just reach on your shirt and open up the valve, and it launches. I mean, because all that pressure, it launches a pretty good stream of water out there. Now, you have to be a little bit careful, because if you're dumping a lot of water out of it, that hose begins to sort of constrict. And if it's around you, it can grab your skin a little bit. But if you do it carefully, you put something there, then you can prevent it from creating too much of a problem. But you can, in your shirt or other places, and just pull it out, turn the valve, and
I love the
really
stealth science here.
douse someone with a pretty good amount of water. And you go, and it's and given you can get a length of stuff, you get a pretty long tube. So you wouldn't do that with a balloon, like those long balloons, because they tend to pop, and that would be bad for you. But
That's a backfire right there.
Yeah. So that's my squirt story.
Yeah.
So you used to squirt all over people, Landon? God, that's hot.
High
You
pressure
just go around squirt all over everybody. You were a stealthy squirter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's hot, Landon. I like your story.
Yeah.
Possibly related topic, but chat would also like to know about a historical celebrity you shared time with, and how you squirted on them.
No, I don't know. If you take out the squirting, I can tell you. If you take out the squirting topic, I can tell you a story about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they said in the first place. That was just my addition.
So historical are in the past, but no longer alive. So I was up at Lick Observatory with my small 0.3 meter telescope, and up there I
didn't have night. I didn't have observing at one of the telescopes, but I brought my own up. Was doing observing, and a guy drove up, and turns out it was Jerry Garcia. And he had heard there was a star party up there and saw a telescope. And I said, well, I don't know about a star party, but you want to take a look at Lance. I was actually taking a look at Neptune and ready to go over and look at Pluto. And so he had a bunch of star charts out as well. And but he was saying, well, here, let me get out my black light so I can get them to glow. And I'm trying to say, but that's going to cause your eyes to constrict, because even though you can't see it, your eyes will react to it, and it's like like shining a bright light. It reduces your night vision. But I convinced him not to use the black light to look at the charts, but instead to look at the telescope. And so we spent, he had never seen Neptune in a telescope, and it was nice, nice little sort of blue dot. And then I knew where Pluto was. I had found it like 3 nights before, and so I switched over to Pluto. And again, it's because his night vision had sort of recovered from that, from driving and the black light. I was able to see that. So that's when I said, well, this is a nice telescope, but we've got a much bigger 0.8 meter telescope down south. You should come by there and see some, see that sort of thing, because you can see things like Pluto really good. So we hang out there, and eventually he did. One of his associates go up there to check out to make sure it was a legitimate observatory, and then he and the drummer guy Mickey Hart came up and hung out, and we did a long observing session there. That was where we were looking for galaxies and showing, doing galaxy hopping like the Virgo cluster with a 0.8 meter telescope. Was kind of nice.
Nice.
And they did not. They brought along music, but none of the music was by the Grateful Dead. They actually were into Tangerine Dream, and so they had a back in the days when CDs were a thing, had a CD player, and we listened to Tangerine Dream while galaxy hopping through the Virgo cluster.
God, it's so weird to think of CDs not being a thing anymore after having lived through multiple different medias, all phasing out. Cassette tapes,
8 tracks.
I just missed 8 tracks. I think 8 tracks were around when I was a little kid, like too young to know about this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were quite the beasts, weren't they? From what I've seen.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the switching track thing. I guess it was sort of like you could have 8 songs on one thing, or an album on one thing, and album of 8 songs, and switch between them. But I really went. We did cassettes where actually had a longer shelf life, as well as I think a longer duration. So
and 2 sides.
Anyway, so that was my. I hope that was suitable for whoever had asked about a historical.
That was Juma.
Oh.
All right.
Somebody
have a blackout story.
Blackout story, yes. Do you have a blackout
that was
story?
the next request.
So Crandor, you've had, Canada's had some blackouts.
Well, hasn't everybody?
I
can't think of any blackout I've experienced that's really been interesting or story worthy myself. How about Shabisky or Red Eye? You guys got to have interesting blackout stories?
Not really.
No.
Well,
there's a blackout. It's night time, and then I'll just go to sleep and wake up, and the power's back on.
Yeah.
Did somebody in the chat ask that?
Yeah, that was AW.
They're probably referring to blackouts like doing too much drugs and then you black out, like drinking too much alcohol.
I mean, that's how the story would go for you, Shabisky. Yeah.
I think that's what they're probably asking.
Have you ever had a thing where you lost consciousness for?
Oh yeah, I've gotten shit faced so many times. And I was like, what? And then people have to relay to me what I did that last night. It's just like, I did fucking what? And there's been several times where that happened. So, yeah, I guess that's what in America is you call a black. In Australia, a blackout is when there's no power. So,
yeah,
yeah,
that's what I thought too.
We just call that getting so fucked up you don't remember what you did the other night. It's like, and then your friends tell you what you did, and you go, oh, and then you go around and apologize to everybody that you fucked with, offended, broke their shit, or did whatever.
Sounds like a routine you're used to there, Red.
May have happened more than once.
Related to your musical career?
Yeah. I just, excess is that's something that I took as a challenge. It's like challenge accepted. Then you'd wake up the next day. When you wake up the next day,
that one.
I've woken up the next day in a different state, about 200 kilometers from where I remember being. That was interesting. It's like, how did I get here? Like, woke up in fucking Ballina.
Yeah. First off, where is here? Second of all, why am I here?
Yeah. So I ended up about 120 kilometers from where I originated. So it was about a 200 kilometer round trip, and for nothing. Just woke up. There's me and a bunch of my friends, and we're just at the beachfront in Ballina watching the sunrise. Who drove down here fucked up from why did we all agree to tag along? We've all just looked at each other and gone, whose idea? We didn't even remember whose fucking idea it was by the time we've all sort of just come out of a haze.
Everybody's following everybody else, and nobody knows whose idea it was.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird one. It's like no one could sort of work out why the fuck we just ended up in Ballina. We just sort of all came out of this fucking big night. Everyone was fucked up, and it was like 20 minutes of looking at each other going, what? Why are we in Ballina? I don't know.
Why would anybody want to be here?
Hey, it's a nice place. It's just it's 100 kilometers away from where we should have been. Yeah, no, it's a really nice coastal town in northern New South Wales.
Okay, nice. That sounds cool.
Kind of like what my town was 20 years ago. It's not blowing out with population and shit. It's far enough away from the capitals in each state where it's a nice place. Not much pollution. The rivers, you can actually see the bottom of the river when you go out at high tide and you look down. It's like, oh, there's the bottom of the river, which is really cool. Yeah, but sadly, when you get up to Brisbane, that thing's just eternally brown, that river. But then, even the Nerang River up here doesn't get that clean. But Tweed and that, it's not too bad.
Are any critters in that river?
Oh fuck yeah!
Of note.
Get you some fresh crawfishes.
We go down there fishing for jewelfish, soapy, or believe it or not, they're called jewfish. I know it's a weird nickname for a fish, but they're really good fish to catch. They fight like a son of a bitch, and you get big bream whiting, flathead, also sharks. So this is a cool, So
saltwater where we go, sharks.
Big saltwater sharks. So right where we go fishing, it's a bridge near a certain town, and there's a pub built right next to the bridge, and out the front of the pub there's like a jetty and the river. And kids, we get there in the arvos to set up for fishing, and there's kids jumping off the jetty going wee wee. Aye. But then at night, dudes come down, and one dude's basically pulled up in his 4-wheel drive with a fucking winch, right? And he's just put a fucking big hook on this thing and just spooled off a bunch of fucking wire and just fucking gone bloop, and thrown this huge lob of meat out off the edge of the jetty, and he's just waited. And sure enough, after a while, you see the fucking wire, the winch go and go taut, and then start peeling off fucking some cable. And he just waits a while, and then he just goes and engages the motor and just reefs in a fucking 6-foot-long shark. And it's like right where the kids go bloop into the fucking water and the jetty. But they're so well fed, they don't eat people because there's so many fish there that are way easier to catch and taste better to them. So,
yeah. Well, plus that's one less shark now.
Yeah, there's plenty of fucking sharks left in the river systems up here. You kind of learn early on that in the canal systems in the city that I live in, they're connected to the ocean, so they're tidal. There's bull sharks that have swum into these places and gone, perfect, sandy, nice, calm, it's tidal, and all the fishies come in here and have their bebes. I'm not going anywhere. So dawn and dusk, get the fuck out of the water, because that's when the bull sharks go hom nom nom nom. And there's been stories where dudes will be swimming along and like man goes swimming for late afternoon swim, hasn't been seen since because bull sharks went dum 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 and chomped him. Not necessarily consumed him whole, but killed him, and he sank to the bottom and went.
You had a prime minister go swimming in the afternoon and never came back too.
Yeah, the Chinese got him.
Chinese shark.
Chinese mini sub. Gobbled him up. Nom nom nom. Took him back. He's still there. He's a guest of Chairman Mao.
Chairman Meow.
Chairman Meow. So
he's getting all the fried rice he wants then.
Yeah.
It's a nice stir fry.
So that was Harold Holt, I do believe, wasn't it? He just went vanish. But where he went in, it's very he was nom by a shark for sure. There's great whites in that area. So he went swimming, and he was dressed in a black swimsuit, so he looked exactly like a fucking seal. So first tip, don't dress up to look like seals. So flippers and a black wetsuit and black flippers, you kind of look seal-like. Bright colours. Don't look like the food that the sharks eat. There's the first tip that I can give people is, bright colours in nature usually signify what?
Poison.
Danger of some description, yeah. Poison, tasty fish.
Bad stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Shabisky's getting called out in chat.
Oh, what?
Got to clean out your hack and pipe there, sir.
They need to fuck off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do with my pipe.
Dabbing out a dirty pipe.
Before I pipe your mom.
Dirty dabs.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Gamer Girl had the Gamer Water. You can jar up Gamer Grunge. Shabisky's Gamer Grunge. Scrape out that disgusting shit and just like a little smeg of it in a little glass vessel, seal that shit up, send it out. Sell it for what? $325? I don't know. What a Gamer Girl sell for $420. Oh, marketing fucking
that's clever.
There you go.
Right. So
the infamous Del Water. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be marketing Shabisky's Gamer Grunge very soon. $420. Get you a smidge of it, mate. We're going to call it a smidge. Just a smidge.
Yeah.
They say his bong water is 1,000% THC.
Yeah.
So speaking of bucks, if we can get a tip to help Pimpmunk with his buck teeth or his lack of buck teeth or his bottom teeth or whatever's going on in his mouth, he needs
with
help.
his face problem.
Yeah, he needs help in this region.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah.
And not the kind of help that Shabisky's usually offering him in that region.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, we could even appeal to Pimp's haters. It's like, donate now and check this shit out. We will guarantee you that Pimp will be forced to lie down in a fucking chair and a man will get basically a fucking drill into his head, causing him incredible discomfort. This whole process Pimp will be not a happy camper. He's going to be
in his head's going to transfer it to his eardrums.
Yeah, so he's going to hear this shit. He's going to feel it. Mm-hmm. He's been feeling it now. So basically, you're going to guarantee Pimp at least an hour and a half in a chair in incredible discomfort, wishing he wasn't there. If you want to fucking make this happen.
That's worth a little money, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm talking to you haters. You know you want to fucking contribute to this. Just think of that braingasm you're going to have of thinking Pimp having a dude drilling into his fucking head and fucking causing him discomfort. Come on, you got half the chubby.
Support Pimpmunk links in the description below.
Yeah,
you can do this. You can do this to him.
You can do it.
Think of that as a hurt Pimpmunk button, or make Pimpmunk feel uncomfortable button. Okay, just that's a special. That's a hater appeal. I'm talking to all you fucking haters out there. Come on, I know you want to see that happen.
Hate Pimpmunk with your money. Do it.
Oh, dang.
You know, and if you put a tag on it, this is a hater donation. If we get $250 worth of hater donations, I'll talk Pimp into filming the procedure.
Oh, shit.
So there's the added bonus. You'll get to see Pimp, the highlights of Pimp getting fucking drilled and might get a sledgehammer out and chip away at the fucking bit of his face. Who knows?
Well, AW,
Quite
even though
shy.
they might use anesthetics, the anesthetics are so they can get the stuff in there and start grinding away.
Yeah.
It's the bone transfers into your ear that it's at high speed.
It's still gonna be real uncomfortable.
And that grinding stuff that you can't plug your ears because it's going straight into your eardrum. So that's
before the haters go, oh, but he's going to have local anesthetics. Like now, sadly for you guys, that's probably a requirement legally that the dentist has to make sure that the patient isn't in horrendous amounts of agony. Because I don't want to, you know,
but
Pimp
not
being
pain free,
very uncomfortable, and in an environment that he doesn't want to be in. That's a little different to him being in fucking agony. Don't want my friend in agony. But if you guys are willing to donate, you haters, I'm willing to, you know, make a spectacle out of my friend's discomfort. We will make a spectacle out of his discomfort for profit. That's how low we're willing to go here.
There you go.
That's what friends are for.
I like the way you're thinking there.
Hey, come on.
You can do this.
I'll exploit anything. Come on.
Hey, Shabisky, where are you hiding Tommy at?
He's up my asshole.
Yeah, Tommy's supposed to say he could come the last half hour. I hope he's
give him a try.
Give him a try. Ask him.
Does he miss me?
You
think he misses me?
He said last half hour. So when he comes on, that'll be
we're there.
A half hour time period for that.
Oh, has Tommy given us the old? Forget about it. He's like,
hey, forget about it.
I've been watching that fucking cartoon. I can't stop watching it.
This isn't really the last half hour. I was planning on going till 11.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm just getting him aware that we're going to expect him.
Yeah.
So while we're getting ready for the hour before the last half hour, Shabisky, why don't you tell us a story about one of the first times you ever encountered marijuana?
Oh, you remember
one
that
of the first
back.
times. It doesn't be the first time, but one of the first times, one of the early.
I don't really have any crazy story for it, but I remember, like, I was young. I smoked weed for the first time at like 12 or something, 13.
Yeah, this explains a lot, you guys.
Yeah, and I've been smoking basically since I was like 14 or 15. Like, do
you remember what kind it was? What the environment was like? What was the?
Yeah, how you
consumed it?
I just smoked for the first time, and I remember it being like really intense. And it's the only time that when people say that out of body experience, that's the only time I actually can relate to that, and I understand what people are saying when they say that, because I don't know why, like, but I felt that way for a moment. It was almost like looking at myself from a third person point of view.
It was astrally projecting.
It was odd. But yeah, that was how it was the first time I smoked weed. I was really young little guy.
Yeah. And now you're getting ready to have your 3.0 firmware update.
Yeah. Are you excited, Crinder?
Yeah, you're still so young. It's cute.
You hitting on me, Crinder? What the fuck? Wait
wanna
until
kiss
we're
about
off
it?
the stream, you slut.
Wow.
You're almost 2/3 my age.
Wow.
I'm up to version 4.5.
Oh my god. You're an old bastard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What the fuck?
A lot of updates.
Yeah, well, the minor updates are also can be kind of interesting, but because as I say, the when I got my 6.0 firmware update, the really exciting thing is 6.1 because 61 is a nice prime, and 2 to the 61st minus 1, 2 to the 61st power minus 1 is also prime, so it's a Mersenne exponent, and that's why you want to get your 6.0 upgrade so you can become, and the reason why you want to get your 3.0 upgrade is so you get to become 31 because that's a really cool number. Not only is 31 prime, 2 to the 5th minus 1 is a Mersenne prime, but 2 to the 31st minus 1 is also prime.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
So that's why you want to.
Danny Million wants to know about Shabby's first lobotomy.
That's personal.
Got him.
That's why he has the beanie on, right? It's to show the scar.
It's to hold his brain in so it doesn't fall out of the hole.
Yeah.
They got a scar there.
A big one, big fat one. Looks like
we're talking about scars, not
vagina.
His
all right,
angina.
Yeah.
So let's get a story topic for Krindar. That would be of something completely different.
Come on, chat. What do you got?
Dude, half-bred ninja's pissing me off. You better shut up down there. Okay.
Well, I'm sure she'd be fine if you just cleaned your pipe.
They can go fuck themselves.
We expect video of you doing this. We want to see it.
I expect a video of them shutting the fuck up.
Any
fuck
any
them.
topics for Krindar? And again, something different. Type of word in, type of something random, something.
Are you scared of mashed potatoes now, Krindar?
Yeah, man, they cut me. I don't want to piss them off again. They're gonna. Yeah. I gotta be real careful in back alleys because they're gonna knife me.
Yeah, you haven't ate mashed potatoes since that day.
And while we're waiting,
I eat them all the time. It's a form of revenge.
Oh damn!
Were your hands kind of soft and soggy because you'd been working in the water, and did that aid in the mashed potatoes slicing ability? Your hands were kind of like
basically I just filled the thing up with water and let it soften it back up again. Give it a soak.
So John Lewis Vega typed a symbol which looks sort of like is that like a Buddha or something like that, or a monk sitting?
I'm not sure. What is that? What is that, John?
What the hell is that?
It looks like some yogi.
No, it's a monkey. It's like an orangutan, I think.
Oh, orangutan.
Oh, it is.
Orangutan.
Orangutan.
So tell a story about a monkey orangutan, something like that.
Well, I don't have any personal life stories about that kind of thing, but I don't know. Well, I know Shabisky and Red Eye are video game people. I'm not sure how Landon is on that, but I remember a little while back they came out with this game. Trying to remember what it was called. Ancestors Odyssey or something like that. It was this game where you could play as a family of 5 million years ago monkey family, and you have to try to learn. They taught you a minimum about how the game system works because they wanted you to just kind of learn the way primates would learn, just run around and try shit and see what works. Try to figure out how to evolve your monkeys. So you can figure out how to make tools and stuff just by, I've got a stick and I've got a stone. Let's mash them together. Oh, now I've got a sharp stick.
Wait, what game is it?
It was a tough game because they wouldn't teach you much. Was that like Humankind Ancestor Odyssey, something like that?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was called like Ancestry or
Yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey.
Ancestors.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you played it, and how well did you do? Did you ever get your
Not great?
Your primates involved?
I made it to a second generation, but then everybody got eaten by panthers and crocodiles.
Is that worth playing? Is that fun?
It's pretty interesting.
Because I was interested
you should try it on.
Playing. Yeah, but money's games are
you
expensive,
might.
So I can't. So I don't just get everything I want.
If you end up with a copy of it at some point, it might be something to do like one stream of or something for you. You know.
Yeah, you only played it a little bit and then stopped.
It says
I did one stream of it.
Odyssey.
Yeah, I did one stream of it because after that I don't know. It didn't hold my interest longer than that. But then again, I'm not much of a. I don't like it when games want you to just sit back and experiment with stuff and figure everything out on your own. Although I understand that's the point of this game. Is they want you to experience what that was like for them to have figured these things out themselves.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fun. I would enjoy.
It was interesting.
That.
Yeah,
but that's definitely a sort of monkey orangutan story. It's there, so I think that qualifies as a.
And they did some interesting effects, like when your monkeys got scared, you start hallucinating predators all over the place on your screen. Or if you just got too far away from home, you get nervous and paranoid. It's a very interesting presentation.
Yeah, babe.
All right, where's Tommy at?
Fuck him, dude. I'll beat him up with my big muscles. So what you guys want? You guys want me to beat him up?
Give us a flex, Shabisky. Let's show Tommy what he's going to be scared of.
Oh, I'm scared. Stop. Stop it.
Give us some Arnold Schwarzenegger poses.
Did you just say the N-word? I might get Grinder. Oh, damn. Let's all
Arnold Schwarzenegger, African American.
Yeah. I never say his full name. I'm scared to do that.
Arnie, yes. So
the governor.
The governor. Landon, come with me.
If you want to live.
Oh, damn.
You hear the lockdown people going off on Arnie lately?
Oh yeah, I think he said, F your personal freedoms or something like that with regards to.
Yeah, but he gave a good speech about it, and he had a good point. He's basically saying that this is all the stuff we have to do to keep everybody safe and healthy, and stop whining about your personal freedoms. Just keep people safe. Stop being a little bitch. Is essentially what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And everybody's just focusing on oh no, he said screw your freedoms. What a bad man. Totally missing his point.
Of course. So Red Eye, allegedly.
I didn't do it.
Can you tell us a story about glass blowing?
Glass blowing.
Smoking meth?
Well, I did not know.
Wait, you smoke meth? Dude, awesome.
Yeah, all the time.
I didn't know we had that in common. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's just something new every day.
It's like first thing they do after they teach you to eat Vegemite toast in Australia is like, here's a crack pipe.
Yeah.
Now, here's a 7
gram.
We had
some guy drop some meth in a restaurant one day. That was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Nah. But I did learn that certain marbles, because I like collecting marbles because they're bright coloured, shiny objects. And
yeah, I liked marbles when I was a kid.
So there are places in the world that still hand make marbles. It involves a little bit of glass blowing and mixing up just I had no idea that that's how you could still make marbles, and it's a place in England where you can go in and watch the process, and they will make anything from tiny little ones to the huge big globs of glass, like nearly the size of a bowling ball, if you want, I suppose. And they just, the process of making all of the different colors and how they mix it all together, I had no idea that that's how they did it. I found it quite interesting. But glass blowing is pretty cool too. I would love to get a custom bong made out of some Pyrex glass, but sadly, that stuff's frowned upon in my state. I have to go interstate to grab. Luckily, I live near the border, so I just go and cross the border to grab stuff. But they made bongs illegal. You used to be able to buy bongs at the local markets everywhere, but now, no. It's kind of weird.
It seems weird that they would have it legalized and then change their mind.
Yeah, it's really weird because I know a few people that work inside one of the political parties here, and both political parties are watching what's happening in America, and they are seeing the heinous amounts of money pouring into places like fucking Colorado and California. You wait until you see the next 5 years of tax data from California, how much money they take in from weed sales. It will blow your socks off, dude. Yeah. And then every other state that's like in a capitalist state's going to go, oh, I want a piece of that action. And everyone's going to be fucking walking around with joints by, another 10 years. I'll be very surprised if America isn't just blanket legal, like federally, because there's way too much money involved for them to say, oh, we'll just give it all back to the cartels. I don't think they're going to want to, they're not going to give up their piece of the action now. It's like the American government's a player in this, and they've just got to come to terms with it. It's like, all right, we'll be the overseer and get the taxations. And look, that's good, keeps people out of jail. But yeah, I don't know. It's fucking weird here. So I can just go straight over the border, and they're sitting on shelves in the shop. There's no hard border either. I mean, it's just, well, right now it is because of COVID, but usually pre-COVID you could just drive to and from it 50 times a day.
But the word marble, actually, the English word came right from the German, which sort of meant from that thing of for the rock, right? Was the term.
Okay.
And early marbles were actually made out of things like agate or limestone or brass or even some gemstones. But I don't know if I've seen marbles made out of marble.
No.
That would be neat, actually. You have to carve it real careful.
Oh, yeah. The processes involved in shaving one of those things down into a perfect sphere would just be fucking insane. You'd just be taking microns off the thing.
That'd be so expensive. It'd be cool to have one, though.
Well, yeah. I don't know. In this age of 3D technology, I'm imagining that you could set something up that could do that job, and the machine wouldn't be outrageously expensive. Like, I saw this plastic forming machine yesterday. It's like, if I could get my hands on one, I'd be building model boats and shit, because this thing is, you get a mold, get it made properly, and then you sit this thing down, mold down, and it sinks down into this machine, and then you put this sheet of plastic on top, and the mold's sitting on top of a sheet of metal, and it's got a bunch of holes in it. It's a vacuum form thing, and this thing heats the plastic up for 1 minute, and then it slowly just, the mold comes up, and then it engages the vacuum form thing, and it just pulls this thing down, and every time it creates this perfect fucking thing in a minute. 1 minute flat. Done. Next one.
That's fast.
So, oh, yeah, dude. So the 3D printers out there now, there's a dude that's 3D printing fucking rockets. All right, there's this
that's going to take a long time.
The rocket tanks. I guess the tanks.
Yeah, and there's other companies that have got 3D printers that are like fucking 20 feet tall. These things are big. So I imagine if there'd be I don't know, what sort of machine would it be? 3D sculptor, I suppose, and you could take a solid object and shape it.
Well, I mean, the process of manufacturing, even though there were some glass marbles that showed up in 1800s, it wasn't until early 1900s that the sort of ability to make near perfect spheres out of sheets of like ball bearings, that sort of stuff started. So some of the early Steely stuff came from there, and it was, bearings, so ball bearings, that sort of thing. But they also made, glass marbles and steel marbles and those sorts of things for that.
When I watched that marble one, that led me on to another interesting thing that I always thought about, is how do they form round metal containers, like big fucking vessels? And it's like, well, it turns out they weld these shapes together through flat panels, and then they fill them with water, and they put an explosive charge in, and they hydroform by detonating the explosive, and it just goes poof, and it makes it form out into a perfect fucking sphere. And it's so cool. And I've watched this process done by a bunch of different companies, and they'll line up a bunch of them, and they'll detonate them in a series. So one goes off, and then half a second later, they all detonate in like a series and go tuk, 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 tuk. They all explosively hydroform these. I think
it's called a flow tank. So they basically melt the sand and soda lime and other materials in the coloring, and then, as I said, they have these they blow out these bubble stuff, and then there's a after they grab those things, they will cut and cool them down.
There's a bunch of different processes that you can use to build spherical objects. And the explosive one was the one that was most fascinating to me, is that they use a shaped charge, and as long as it's hung in the right spot, the pressure wave of the explosive goes out, meets the fucking wall of the vessel at the same time, and the whole thing just goes ploop, and then there's like a little shot of pressure out the top where they've left a little hole, and just shoots out the jet of water out the top, and you get these perfectly formed fucking round steel containers that they use for tanks. Fucking cool. I love that shit. Engineering, there's some really cool engineering out there. What's chat saying?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, SpaceX Dragon is 3D printed engine. Yeah, so there you go. The vacuum forming with this machine that I saw last night, it's now fucking easy, and it takes 1 minute, and you produce perfect fucking things just about every time, because the machine is built in such a way that it's kind of hard for it to fuck it up. As long as your mold's good and you place it and the plastic's going to cover the mold and settle around. The way it does it is just ingenious. It pushes the mold up, and then it just sucks the plastic down, and because the sheet's forming a seal, it just pulls it straight down over the mold, and it's just. I was watching it make VW Beetle car chassis for toys, about 1/32 scale, and they were fucking flawless, each one of them. Watched several get made. You can use clear, coloured plastics, doesn't matter. Fucking cool, man.
Nice. That's awesome.
Modern tech is fucking just amazing. And this, I'm assuming, at an industrial scale, if you're running a business, these machines would be quite affordable. We're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're probably talking 10, 12 grand a pop. Yeah, well, dude, and I'm telling you, I watched my mate's a sign writer, and they've been doing it for years. This machine and the technology makes it fucking easy. You haven't seen the video, so it blew my fucking mind. It was so fucking awesome. That's why it was like, no fucking way. And they rinsed and repeated the process live without cutting the video. It was just really fucking amazing. They just 1 a minute.
Yeah.
And it was easy. And it was as easy as placing a plastic sheet, like the mold, and then the plastic sheet over the top of it, and waiting a minute till the plastic sheet got hit up, and then pressing a button. It was all done fucking automated. It was amazing.
Yeah, and so some of those machines that can make them, in mass, do that on a scale. It's a pretty ingenious process. So,
like, I could be using this machine and producing stuff in 5 minutes flat. That's how simple it was. Oh, you've used the kit, so you know what I'm talking about without actually seeing it. Go fuck yourself, you dickhead. What a wanker. I love it when people say, I know what you're talking. I don't need to see it, but I know what you're talking about. Fuck off, idiot. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Some mothers do have them. Wanker.
I've seen movies on the history of
making marbles, and I remember seeing a machine that was sort of on a mass scale of producing those things. I don't know I don't think they're really called for nowadays as much.
What was some of the other cool shit that was coming out? Some of these rigs for holding onto your mobile phone camera for filming. There's one that's like on a boom now, but it will track you, so you can just basically pan around yourself, and this little thing that's on top of the thing, will just gimbal, and the fucking camera will keep facing you no matter what. So you can do like a 180 degree, and it's got a thing so you can click it out an extra meter, so you can get that take use of the new widescreen stuff. And this gimbal little thing on a handle, it's like the simplest thing, and its motion tracking and stabilization was so fucking good for this little cheap toy that was cheap as shit. It was fucking mind blowing. Like this, because you worked on a stabilization project for a certain bunch of people that used to bust stuff, we could say, Landon.
Yep.
And you know how difficult that was to do many years ago, but with modern technology and processing power and everything,
it's become much easier, I imagine.
Yeah.
Or at least they have the technology that can do the fast control loops. They're pretty good.
Yeah. You are the wanker. You are the wanker, mate, because you don't know what I'm talking about. You haven't seen the actual video, so go fuck yourself. That does make you a wanker, dickhead.
I'll be a wanker.
If you asked me for a link and said, "Oh, give us a link to watch the video," I could have at least respected you. But now I just think you're a fucking knobhead.
You're a wanker.
Fuck off.
Fuck off, wanker.
So, hi there, Raisin Girl. And Raisin Girl has a question. Oh,
Raisin Girl wants to know how I got this little guy, little me.
Oh,
Good friend of mine who uses 3D printing quite frequently made it for me and sent it to me in the mail.
Where's mine?
Thank you very much. Once again, Half-Bred Ninja.
yeah. That's
that
cool.
looks cool.
Yeah.
What do you do with it?
So I just keep him right here. So he's hanging out with me while I'm streaming.
You don't play with it or anything?
No, I don't put him up my butt or anything.
Thank you, Half-Bred Ninja. That was cool. The vacuum former.
Yeah.
If you don't put it up your butt, what do you do with it? I don't get it.
It sits on the table and looks cool.
He hangs out when I stream. Not everything has to go in your butt.
This doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, he doesn't have kitty, so he can't like turn up something upside down. So he's got to have a thing on his desk.
Yeah, so I have to stream with my little mini. Thank you for noticing, Raisin Girl.
That's cool, though. Yeah, I want my own like that.
Well, I know somebody who can make you one.
They better make me.
What they should do is to get someone to make you a Shabachu.
Yeah, Shabachu's pretty cool.
Fucking Christ!
You've seen
that was about a bit of nightmare fuel when I saw that one day on Twitter.
Cute. It's cute. Everyone likes it. Everyone thinks it's cute.
No, it's an abomination.
No, he's a little cutie pie.
No,
big belly.
Red Eye's just mad because it was made for me by my friend who he's yelling at in chat.
No, I'm just annoyed.
Is that who you're yelling at?
Your friend's being a fucking idiot. It's like speaking about something they haven't actually fucking looked at yet. So fuck off.
I mean, she's done the same thing herself. How is that not looking at it?
Well, it's a new machine and new tech that makes it a whole bunch easier that they haven't implemented before in industrial scale. But no one needs to look at what I'm talking about. Fuck being informed and fuck having the whole fucking story and actually checking out what I'm talking about. Just assume that you know fucking everything. Yay!
The internet. We don't look at information.
Yeah. So I was confused. I thought you were talking about a process. This process is making round marbles, but it's I guess it's different than what I saw.
No, it's making huge, big metal fucking
Oh, huge
storage tanks that are like fucking 10 meters in diameter.
And they like things that are hollow, you mean, right?
And they fill them with water and they use a shaped charge and they suspend it, I'm guessing, right in the middle, and it's a spherical shaped charge, so the pressure front travels out and hits the fucking vessel all around. And because it's shaped, it's welded together with panels. It's like, I don't know, it's not a perfect sphere. It's like got flat sections. It's faceted. But when they go pop, this thing just goes.
Chad's asking if you got a link so people can look at it. Do you have a link to this video?
To the
the thing you're talking about. Can we show a link to people for it?
Yeah, that's fascinating.
You read Chaz Waza Crinder.
So it's not building a cylinder. It's building a cylindrical tank, not just a spherical tank. What you're saying, which is fascinating.
Yeah, it comes out as this thing comes out as a perfect sphere.
Oh, sphere.
It starts out as a faceted, so think of a massive tank that's just been welded together with flat panels, but in a kind of nearly a sphere, but there's still those flat sections to it, and it's faceted. And once they detonate this thing, it just rounds it all out. It's fucking cool. So
I wonder, is it?
So, here you go. There's the video. So this video's got a bunch of fucking shit in it, and it's got this machine as well. There's a bunch of cool shit. It's got a machine that paves roads, and it takes there's a crew of 4 dudes, and it's just fucking cool. I'll have to open it up and get hot link. And just to save everybody time, the vacuum forming is. Well, it's the first one, so there you go. And this has a whole bunch of cool inventions. It even has this is a complete waste of time, one of the last inventions, but it's a machine that folds T-shirts. And on an industrial scale, I'm supposing if you worked at a factory where you printed thousands of T-shirts a day, this machine, it goes bump, 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 and the T-shirt's folded. It's like, okay, and it throws it off and it's fully folded. So I'll share that link in chat. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to fold 5,000 T-shirts by hand. That'd be annoying.
No, well, it'd fucking be just fucked up. And the cool thing about this vacuum forming thing is that it does just about any fucking shape, which is what makes it really fucking cool and kind of, yeah. So it's from a mob called Form Mech, perfectly formed. It does everything from like Darth Vader Master Beetle cars and all sorts of shit. So there's that one, and now I've got to find the other one where the thing goes boom, boom, because that's like way down in my history. Oh, and there's this other guy that was throwing a big giant boomerang that goes around him fucking twice, and it's shaped like a big T, and the thing actually gains lift.
I think I've seen that.
That thing's fucking insane, dude. And I also found out recently, boomerangs. Everyone assumes boomerangs are Australian Aboriginals. No. They were all around the world thousands of years ago.
Huh.
And they can't really work out where they originated, but I don't think it was the Australian Aboriginals. One of those parallel evolutionary things where hunters just went throwing shit at animals' works. So they did it. Now, where's this fucking... I'm just going to have to find that. Do a search because oh, Jesus. Here it is. Explosively hydroforming a steel sphere. This one is fucking cool. Turn your speakers down, folks, if you got headphones, because if you jack it, you might get a big shock when the boom goes.
I always get a big shock when I jack it.
So, yeah, that's a pretty loud bang, so keep your headphones right the fuck down. My hearing's already fucked up. Doesn't matter.
Turn them up as loud as they go.
But there's a couple of videos where they do and they hydroform an array of these things in a row, and they detonate it just like one after the other every few seconds. It's something similar to what Jamie Heineman did with hydroforming those things on his show.
That is boom.
Boom.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
Imagine the ear protection those people working there must be having to wear all the time, eh?
Oh, fuck no, you're not even in within Kuya, that shit, you're out of the room at that point and somewhere that's sealed away from the fucking blast wave, because that shit'll fucking...
Oh, yeah, but it's still going to be loud over there, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, you'd have the super duper ear protection in.
Exactly, yeah.
You'd just basically just pour fucking molten wax.
You probably got those
ears
headphone things that you use in like a firing range, and plus they're like 2 rooms away.
Oh, new to me. There you go. And it's new to the fucking poor fucking cunts that work around here with that shit. I've never seen anything like it before. Good for you. Oh,
I mean, it's pretty cool.
I think it's fucking great. Mind blowing how they can just form shit like that in a minute. Because when the boys down at the local sign writers do it, they got to fucking shove their sheets in the oven and fucking it's a fucking process, and that thing's doing it like that. That's a big step up. You know, like I said, we're a backwards Australia, and we're fucking 50 years behind everyone. So okay, whatever. It's not new to you. I'm pretty sure every sign writer on the Gold Coast would fucking spunt over one of those bad boys. Create fucking just about anything with the cunts. Oh, and there's this fucking mad mower. There's this German company that has this mower, right? And it looks like this medieval monster. It's got big spiked fucking wheels. And you can set this thing up to chop out, what is it? It's got to be 8 feet of fucking grass per chop, and he's on the side of this fucking hill riding it like a big alien motorbike. It's fucking awesome. Actually, what part of that video is it? I'll go and bring that up again because it's in that vid. Where is he?
I saw it somewhere near the middle somewhere. I was just sort of paging through it.
Yeah, and the road paving one's fucking epic. Like, that shit's amazing, but in Australia, we don't pave roads like that. In Europe, apparently, that's how they do shit with paver blocks, which makes a lot of sense, actually. But we use bitumen, and which is, funnily enough, you know what won't melt during the next heat wave in summer is that paved road. I bet you you guys had it last summer too, with bitumen roads melting. Have you guys had that problem yet, where it gets so hot that you can't actually drive anything on the road because the roads fucking melt?
We had some roads up near here that were, that sort of buckled because of the heat expansion. In fact, also across the same thing across, but this is, I guess, something different.
We had bitumen. The ambient temperature was so hot that the bitumen melted, and when the trucks were driving on it, they'd sink through it, and it was just sticking. You know what? Well, guess what tar does to stuff? It sticks to it and ruins paint and renders roads utterly impassable. And that's the other thing that they haven't really been talking much about, that we'll be seeing it this summer again, is the roads melting and how trucks can't drive on them. And if you can't get trucks through, what happens to your supply of food and stuff to outback towns?
Yeah, it'd mess with a lot of stuff.
Well, you're going to have to start flying shit out. But guess what also melts? The runways, because they're made of bitumen. So that paving idea may be one of the fucking greatest ideas, because we're going to have to consider doing that. It's a frightening fucking I've just thought about that. It's like, that's actually kind of coming. Here's the mowing one, right? It's at 6 minutes 38. Have a look at some of those fucking mowers. Can you pull that up, Shabby, and play it on stream for a sec?
That would be fun. Yeah.
Just show 10 seconds of these things, fucking just skip through it and show a little bit of footage of them fucking running, because they're engineering marvels. Like conventional mowers, I think of a Victor or the really old school wheel one where you just walk behind the fucking thing.
Oh, I like the guy who's mowing the side of a hill.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, isn't it? Like he's
really useful if you got to deal with that kind of shit. Yeah,
it's the explosive hydroforming a steel sphere, or
no. Oh, hold on, I'll link this one again. I'll put this in here for you, bud, and go to about 6 minutes dirty. And you'll start seeing these things. And they can go through really wet terrain as well. They don't sink in. Like, I fucking love modern engineering.
Yeah, I saw that guy going through.
Just fucking insane, dude. And it turns out there's another video I watched last night that a lot of these modern engineering feats that people are doing are actually not all that new. So that's the vacuum and shit. That I thought that was fucking
skip to
crazy.
about six
Apparently that's
and a half
not
minutes
so
there,
my
Shab.
bad. So 6 minutes 30, and check out
there.
these alien mowers. So that's a conventional
After this
style
one.
of mower.
Yeah, like look at this guy in the marsh or whatever this is.
Thing.
This guy here on the hill, yeah.
Like I've mowed on a hill before on a ride-on mower, and look at
Holy
that
shit,
one.
look at that thing.
That's a beast.
Christ.
Look how, and it's so modular. That's the other cool thing about this thing. That base design is incredibly modular. Like, look at the fucking hill he's on, dude. And it's balanced, so you can just like, it's self-driving. It's now distributing fertilizer as well. So it's a bit of a rig. Look at it fucking go too. I want to race one.
Wow.
Look at like that's hauling ass. Like to mow that quickly and that wide of a strip makes it incredibly efficient to mow large areas.
Yeah.
And now this drone, you want to go find your book in Building 42? I just thought this is the drone that's going to find that fucking book. Check this fucker out. Very simplistic idea, but guess what it's turned it into? You can fly this drone in incredibly confined spaces, and if you watch how the thing reacts, it rolls along with its environment. So the drone
has a little
space,
cage protecting it from impact.
yeah, but see how the thing's also the ball moves, so it doesn't affect the orientation of the drone itself. It's like free to gimbal around the drone, which makes it you can roll the cage along a surface, but the drone will stay fucking stable. And check this shit. You send it into all of these confined. Isn't that cool?
You don't have to worry about wrecking your drone and sending it into these places.
Well, it also here's the maddest machine you'll ever not want. Watch this stupid thing. Look at that. Whack, whack, whack. Done. And see, an industrial at a screen printer, you just go boom, 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 hand switch. And if your employee ever annoys you, you can just get the machine to slap the shit out of them for you.
Put their face down on the machine and hit the button.
Slap, 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 slap. Fuck off. All right. Who's the fucking engineering geek that just woke up with the epiphany of making this machine? Because that's how it happened. I have a dream. I will make folding shit. Look at that. That does make life a lot easier at a screen printer. That's what I envisioned it for. I didn't watch the whole lot of the screen. I saw it do it once and I went, that's mad. No way. Now,
that is a machine that fills the need right there.
How long would it take a human to fold a shirt approximately? That's 20 seconds? 25? 30 seconds?
At best.
Not as fast as that machine. That makes it so you're going to get more T-shirts out of the factory door at the end of the day with that thing.
And less annoyance out of your employees, too.
Here's this fucking road paver. See, we must be so backwards here in Australia because we're still making roads.
I like that name.
Yeah, this is insane. This is even cooler than the.
They're just feeding it bricks.
Yep. And the other style was that they have a certain section, and this machine's designed to grab the entire section, go and lay it in place, and where the thing was holding it, a worker comes in and drops a few bricks in, sealed. But that's cool as shit, isn't it? Look at that. And that's not going to melt next summer.
Real smooth.
That's cool as shit, isn't it?
I like it.
I don't know. Engineering feats amaze the fuck out of me. I think people that can think on that level are just like designing the whole, not just the finished product, but you got to put every piece and make the mechanisms all like just that T-shirt folding machine's a fucking bit of gear, dude. I love that. But the mower's my favorite. That's the alien mower.
Yeah,
I like it.
That was cool. I've actually seen the brick lane machine. That was something else that I had seen before. Then that's cool. Yeah.
That's the one that really fucking blew me away, was the 2 paving machines. Like, because I've done paving, I've done road work, and it's good fun work. Like building a road from scratch is really rewarding work, because I was a surveyor's chairman, and then I helped just basically shit kick around the job site as we did the rest. We did a housing estate, and I went in with the surveyor into this bushland, and we marked out the roads, and then we had to mark out every house block. We were there for like 6 months before work began, just walking around in the bush. I was on the dumpy, he was on the level, and we were just taking, and we used the old school chain. So we had a piece of like a roll of wire with a segment marked off every fucking half meter, and you'd have to stretch that out over and try and pull it taut when you're a 50-kilo kid. It's like not easy. I used to put my whole body weight on this chain and just lean to try and pull it taut to get a reading. The fucking surveyor used to just be pissing himself laughing, because I'd fall over or get dragged back down the hill just from the weight of like 200 meters of chain out. It would be heavier than me, because I'm like a lightweight kid trying to pull a fucking 200-meter piece of wire across a fucking stretch of, like, from a hillside to a hillside, and there's like a valley, so there's nothing to rest the chain on, and I'm like going, and then I'd drag back down the hill. But then we'd go in with excavators, fucking bulldozers, and lay a road base, and that took weeks. And then you get the steamrollers in there for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then you'd start laying bluestone and gravel, and then bitumen. And that process was doing it basically, you go in and lay down cracker dust, and then pound it down with the machine, and then the paver's laid down straight on top of it. And it was all done in a day instead of weeks. Very fucking cool. Anyway, sorry, I'm on an engineering. Oh my God, look at the engineering things.
I mean, that's some impressive stuff.
I'm very easily impressed with things like that, though. I will admit. Like,
no, those are cool things.
Fun things.
I don't know what it is about explosive hydroforming that fascinates me too, but someone's worked out that you can use explosions for good. That's fucking cool.
I mean, using explosions as a force of creation is a pretty big brain move.
Yeah, it's like I'm smooth brain, right? I like big lumpy brain people like that they design the cool toys that I'm like going, oh my God, and geeking out over. Like, that's why I think I'm easily impressed, because I'm smooth brained. But oh well. Don't you laugh, Shabby. You're about as smooth brain as me, motherfucker.
It's only because I use a lot of lotion.
Gotta keep it slick and nice. Smooth up there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but what's some of the other things this is how they worked out reactive armor on tanks. Was after World War II, I think the Americans were sitting around shooting at a bunch of old, was it German or Russian tanks? I'm not sure which. I'm pretty sure it was German tanks. And some of these tanks had ammo left in them. And someone's noticed that one time they've shot at this tank, and the explosion from inside has sort of neutralized the force of the explosion coming in, and they've gone, And someone then went and big-brained it and worked out we can do reactive armor, so if it detects a shot coming in, it detonates and counteracts some of the explosive force of the incoming shell, neutralizing some of its power. I'm not sure if it neutralizes or how it works, whether it's a motion sensor that detonates it before it hits, or whether it's when it gets hit, it's then triggered. But that was the idea behind it. It
would have to be just before, I would imagine.
That'd be its best bet, is just detonate in a millisecond before the thing hits.
Try to get the both of them to happen exactly at the same time. Yeah.
But that's how I believe that's how they discovered reactive armor, or that led to the invention of reactive armor.
That sounds logical. I can see that happening.
Oh,
I didn't know that was how that worked.
Yeah, it's just basically an explosion counteracting an explosion.
Yeah, you're just pushing back.
Yep.
Yeah.
every force has an equal, or every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you can, it's kind of like things can, it's just canceling something out. So if you have a sound frequency
telling the
coming
explosion,
in,
no, you're pushing it back out.
Yeah, just give it the hand. So stay in your lane, explosion. Stay in your goddamn lane.
Talk to the hand, explosion.
Yeah, talk to the hand.
Back
and stay
off.
in your,
Get your own sandwich.
cease and desist
Get your own
immediately.
sandwich.
It's kind of like when you use sound cancelling technology. It's like, so you got the, just imagine waveforms and you got the positive version of it. Well, if you play the negative version at the same time, that cancels out the positive and it turns it into
Nothing.
And that's how, yeah.
You landed. You remember those back off, get your own sandwich commercials?
All right.
Yeah, and that's sort of where the the sort of Unix thing about sudo make me a sandwich.
It's contact based apparently. So there you go. And it's not widely deployed because it's. I'm guessing that having a bunch of explosive devices hanging off your armored tank is not optimal. Now, if they all detonated at the same time, I can't imagine that's going to be a fun time for everybody inside the tank.
No. Yeah, I would imagine you have to really perfect that before you really want to start using it a whole lot.
Yeah,
but it's an interesting idea to start with, for sure.
Well, I heard stories about in Vietnam they'd get APCs. Well, I didn't hear stories. They showed these things, and they basically developed a system. So say you're cruising through the jungle in Vietnam, it's like you and your bros are just hanging out listening to some music, and the VC decide to attack your convoy. Well, someone went, what if we just put anti-personnel mines all over the outside of the vehicle, and you can sit inside it and just push a button and detonate them? So someone did. They went, well, okay, and they went and strapped a bunch of anti-personnel mines onto the side of vehicles. And then here's the best bit, they gave the drivers some earmuffs. Good luck. And the people that used to deploy these systems are very, very loud. And I heard a few stories that they learnt the hard way that they have to trigger the explosions and stage them. So it's a staggered detonation is the word I'm looking for, I do believe. Is that correct? A staggered detonation? Because if you let them all rip at the same time and they're facing outwards, that's putting a lot of explosive force squishing against your vehicle. Now, I heard a vicious story that they, in the early days of testing, that one lot of dudes had actual claymores on the side of their M23 anti-personnel character. Now, I don't know if this is a true story or just a wives' tale, but they put a whole bunch of them on each side of their fucking APC and went into the jungle and went to ambush Charlie, and they didn't stagger the explosives and they detonated them all at the same time, and apparently it pancaked the fucking personnel carrier and squashed the dudes. I don't know if that's a true story or not. It's probably a fucking urban
with strong
legend.
enough minds, maybe.
With enough APCs, claymores, I'm imagining it'd be possible if they're all detonated simultaneously.
Right.
I again cannot confirm this story. I'm imagining it's just urban legend, but it's kind of a cool story. So they loaded up the thing with claymores and detonated them at the same time and pancaked the thing. But yeah. Same reason soldiers are full. Yeah, because of the sympathetic vibration that Tesla discovered. Because apparently Tesla made that little machine that would go dunk, 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 dunk. And if you get it at the right frequency and you put it in the basement of a building, it'll create a sympathetic vibration and the whole building will start going and the whole neighborhood starts shaking. That was Tesla's claim, that he set it off one time and it got not only his building going, but the neighborhood around it from sympathetic vibration.
You know what? Coming from that guy, I could believe it.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why modern building things, they try to model those things unless your building is approved by the Chinese Communist Party, in which case all bets are off.
Oh, did you see the footage from that Chinese building several weeks ago? Yeah. They've evacuated this sympathetic vibration, and you could see this fucking building is just wah, 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 and the top of it's like whipping around, dude. It's like, oh, somebody didn't do a structural integrity test in their virtual environment
Yeah.
before going ahead
So
with building it.
I can imagine in days in Nikola Tesla, those sort of testing was not done, and so you could find those resonance things. But that the case of that Chinese building was a matter of just probably someone was had connections and used those connections to get stuff passed. So speaking of random odd things,
oh god,
did you know that the Canadian Chief Election Officer is the only Canadian citizen over the age of 18 who by law is not allowed to vote in federal elections?
that's discrimination.
That's
you
messed
know that?
up, bro.
Discriminating.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Is that because they hold
I knew that.
certain position?
They're supposed to be the duty to uphold the neutrality in the
no bias.
So,
right, so no bias.
In fact, the elections Canada is actually the longest, is the oldest independent electoral commission in the world. So it's been going on for a while, since at least 1920. So it's been over 100 years that this has been the case. Just a little bit of fun facts about the election coming up.
Gonna stay on the explosive topic.
Yeah.
So
speaking of elections,
well, this is about space travel. And did you know that some people one time thought, what if we use atomic bombs as a method of thrust for hurtling a vehicle through space? So on paper, there is a space ship that is powered by detonating nukes. And you detonate these nukes in this shaped chamber, which causes the vessel to thrust. Now think of and your ship's on a big, massive shock absorbing, like a pogo stick, right? And at one end there's a big, huge bell. And then in the next bit, there's a chamber full of bombs. And then you've got to sort of poke the bomb through into the detonation chamber and then shield yourself away from it. And then detonate it in the right spot. And it will go and cause your thing to go.
You do realize that they're doing this outside the atmosphere.
Yes, this is in space. This isn't like to get off the surface of the planet.
And you know what a nuclear explosion looks like out in space.
It don't look like one here. It just travels out and blast away.
So the minimum of the material around it would go off, but most of what we would get would be a radiation pressure. So think of like having flash bulbs going off, and you'd have a parabolic chamber that would then, cause a recoil and push it backwards.
Yep. So
quite effective. So we wouldn't get these mushroom clouds in space. That's what happens. Now, the problem, of course, is that you'd have also electromagnetic pulses, and you'd have to shield your electronics in a major way on board the spacecraft to not get the zappies. But that's a minor thing.
Now, here's a question, because I've never thought about this. But with this system, is it possible? And this is, I'm guessing this is a really dumb question. I'm going to embarrass myself and ask it anyway. Would it be possible to engineer a shaped atomic charge?
Yes.
Oh, fucking fuck. So like a conventional shaped charge, you just upscale that shit and you could create, well, I suppose all you need to create a shaped charge is something to stop the explosion traveling out in a spherical direction. You need to just focus it through a channel of some. So if you, when they drop the thing down the hole and it shut the fucking lid, in of course. There you go. I've got my own answer. Yes, you can make shaped charges because we've already done it and shot a lid into fucking space. Maybe. Or we vaporized it. But we might have shot it into space. But we probably vaporized it. But we might have shot a big metal lid. Think of a manhole cover that's a lot bigger and thicker because it was the cap of a nuclear explosion. We might have shot that into space.
Well, I think it's nice. Pretty reasonably out there now that
thermonuclear detonations depend upon pressure from gamma rays and X-rays, and that typically modern systems use only one or two conventional. Modern systems that get triggered by an atomic use only one or two. Usually one.
Well, I didn't know.
So the answer is that I would venture to say that any sort of modern thermonuclear weapon uses shape charge.
Okay.
Nuclear shape charge.
Now, here's another interesting thing that Landon brought my attention to the other day. People have probably seen the footage of the atomic cannon being shot, where they made like a howitzer, a conventional artillery cannon, but it shoots nukes. Now, there's one shot where you see what I thought was just a furphy of the test or the way it was shot, and there's a double mushroom. Well, no, that test was to see how hardened a nuclear device would be. So they shot two, right? And they detonated one, and then they waited a few seconds and then detonated the next one, which is why there's a double mushroom head. So the idea of nuking the enemy's supply of nukes out of existence is not really feasible, because it turns out the warheads can survive a nuclear blast and then be detonated afterwards. Oopsie. I didn't know that until recently, but that's that test of the cannon, and you see the two mushrooms rise up. That's because they detonated a second device after the first one.
Yeah, and just also to know that most thermonuclear devices are two-stage. So they start off, there's a fusion which creates fission that drives fusion drives fission that drives fusion, or the way around, depending on them. So there's usually are multi-stages, and there's been a three-stage device, but that was because the people were insane, and Nikola Khrushchev was a megalomaniac. But that being said, so this notion of shape charges is actually nuclear shape charging, and nuclear closing of stuff is actually as old as thermonuclear weapons.
Right. So Ninja just said bombs were dropped on Japan shaped charges. The way I understand what they were constructed is to get them to go critical. That was a bunch of shaped charges directed inwards towards a central point, and they were all let go, which then caused the criticality to occur. Is that the basics of it?
That was the first one on Hiroshima was merely a powder keg cannon, where a cannon shot a block of U-35 into another block of U-35, which went critical. So think of it like a cannon with a stopper on the end, and the cannonball was fissional material slammed into another on the other end fissional material, and that's what happened at Hiroshima. Nagasaki was, as you said, charges that caused a plutonium sphere to be crushed into supercriticality.
Right. Okay. But
so that's a different thing than sort of now conventional thermonuclear weapons, which uses typically an atomic device and shapes the explosion from the atomic device is used to cause the fissional material fusion material to go fusion, right? So the second stage of fission of the atomic thing being focused to create fusion, that fusion then generates stuff to cause more fission to go on. That's the second stage, and you could have a third stage where that thing turns around and gives another even bigger shock wave to have even more stuff. There's no limit to how many stages you can do. There's just limit on how insane you are. And so Khrushchev had them do a three-stage device, which just was off the charts in stuff, and they said, no, not again. There's no reason why you'd be that insane.
Yeah, and during one of the first tests too, they weren't too sure if when they detonated some of these bigger devices, whether the atmosphere would just combust. There was at least one test. was a bit of
the Trinity, right? At
okay.
And Los Alamos. The thing with they're basically a betting pool of stuff where people put in how big would the explosion be. Now, people like Feynman and Fermi did calculations and then did experiments during the detonation to verify their stuff. Whereas someone sort of put in as kind of a joke, it's going to cause the atmosphere to fuse and ignite the Earth. It was meant as a kind of a joke thing, and basically they were saying, I'm going to take it if it's bigger than any of the other explosions, I'm going to win because I'm going to have it was a joke. I mean, no one seriously would think that would occur.
And you just dropped the name. If you're interested in the atomic program, there's a movie called Trinity and Beyond. And this is what the amazing thing is about the atomic program is someone in the army went, we need to document this shit and we need to do it like fucking Hollywood epic style. So they went and got a bunch of fucking Hollywood fucking cinematographers and people that were good at making movie stuff, and they went, you're with us, here's some, you're now classified, shut the fuck up, you're going to be filming atomic detonations while we're over doing shit. And one of the best ones is these guys are on an atoll across from where the nuke detonated. They're fairly close, and they're like filming this shit, and they've realized, oh shit, there's a tsunami coming. They've all had to fucking grab their gear and climb palm trees as the tsunami swept over this fucking little sandy atoll that they're camped on several miles away from the blast. And it tells all of these stories of these guys and when they filmed all of these things. And it's a terrifying film, but it's also awe-inspiring, but terrifying. It's, that feeling, it's like you're in awe of it, but you're also horrified at what these things were designed to do, which is end humans. And
there was kind of sometimes it's sort of people kind of cavalier about that stuff of the experiments going on, and but it was. I mean, there was the one of the more notorious ones occurred in Australia of the Day of the White Cloud, and there's a rock wall that I was brought to see by some Aboriginals where you can see imprinted into the wall what looked like an adult, a child, and two other adults that were kind of walking at the time that the flash essentially created imprints into that. And it still is. It is actually remarkable, the fidelity of those images.
And it's really remarkable that not many Australians will know about that story. And the really sad part is how the fucking authorities that were in control of the area knew it was full of Indigenous people. And you know what? The warning signs they put up were in, guess what fucking language that the locals didn't speak? English.
Not theirs.
They can't read fucking English.
And the British, it was the British that did it, that basically said, well, we put up, a month ahead of time warning signs, and they ignored it.
No, they couldn't read them, you fucking morons, and then you killed a bunch of them. We're going to have a day of reckoning about that, I hope. So it's like I'm hoping that particular one is just internationally and we need to be fucking named, and the British too, because we were a testing ground. Like there's my area where I live, there's a slightly higher than normal background radiation. It's like Mad Max is legit. We just got to mutate. Give us 100 years or so. We'll get there. We'll all run around fucking eating dog food. It's like humongous. It's like Lord Humongous.
Essentially trinitite, which is essentially what happens. The glass gets fused from this very high.
What's that? They've named it. So the stuff that gets created from nuclear blasts, we've got names for it. What's the stuff that's created?
Trinitite.
Yeah. Now there's an even rarer material, and this one's so rare it's because it's only created when there's a meltdown, and they've found it in Fukushima and they've found it in Chernobyl. And it's one of two places where you can find this. What would you call it? A new element or a new alloy?
No, it wouldn't. It would be a compound.
A new compound.
Yeah.
It's the most highly radioactive fucking. It's basically what's left over after the core that melted has cooled back down and solidified.
Yeah.
All
Anyway,
of
so
that
this-
stuff goes,
The spot there, so you still can see some of the evidence of the detonation stuff. So these folks were within, I'm guessing, 2 kilometers, probably less than a kilometer, I would say, away from the set. But yeah, it was a thing. By the way, Yes has a song that talks about this. There's a song by Yes. It's actually quite a emotional, powerful song.
Yeah,
about this.
It's not a well-known piece of our history, and I wonder why they don't teach it in schools and things. And we really should know about this shit because it's not.
Yeah, because people regarded Australia as a bombing ground for making stuff. It was equivalent to our Nevada.
And America gave us a parting gift after World War II as well. It's like after it was all over, you guys sort of cruised off the coast 100 or 200 kilometers. It's not that far off the east coast of Australia, off Brisbane. And someone on all the ships went, hey, we piff all this shit over the side. It makes the ships lighter and we use less fuel. And we got no use for this shit. So the planes, the bombs, the bullets, all of that shit overboard. And there's this place now where it's a void of life because all that shit was dumped in the same, and it's just sat, and it's just created a fucking dead zone. And it's just, they dive down there and it's just like, oh, that's a Corsair. Oh, yep, that's a Hellcat. And that's a bunch of rusted out ammunition and barrels of shit and God knows fucking what that's now dispersed into the environment, and there is no life. It's a fucking desert under the ocean, and it's kind of unusual to see that in this part of the world. Usually it's teeming with life at this depth, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to say sorry to you, Half-Breed Ninja. That's just me. I'm crazy as a loon, literally. So never just fucking ignore me if I tell you to fuck off, because I'm probably over it within 2 minutes, and I don't hold grudges like that.
I mean, he's not kidding.
Yeah, I'm literally just, when I tell you to fuck off like that, I'm snapping, and then 2 seconds later, my brain will sort of rubber band back to somewhat of a normal state, and I use that term very loosely. No, I'm on a pension for being crazy, so I apologise for you for snapping at you. I'm not an expert in the field. I just saw something that I've never seen before, and it blew my fucking mind how it was pulling these molds, because I'd watch my friends fail at doing things like that for half a day to get that one mold right so they could then cut it up and sell it to the fucking customer. And I just thought it was incredibly cool how it was just going and popping shit out. But yeah, I apologize for being a complete and utter fucking wanker. There you go.
So there was things when go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say we got 8 more minutes left on the stream. If you guys want to come through with any last minute tips, here's the
go
link
tell
in the
Tommy.
chat.
Time for him to come on.
Tommy's
I
don't know.
So you did nothing wrong, Half-Breed. You're cool. I'm just a douchebag, and that's half the fun of this show. And what I'm known for is just snapping at people in chat randomly because I'm a cunt. But you didn't do anything wrong.
You do it in a way that's fun, though, so it's all good.
Yeah, and I was seriously, I wasn't going to hold a grudge. That's why I saw what you were writing. It was cool and it was interesting. So I continued the conversation. So I apologize to you, mate. There you go.
Shabisky, you should give us a link where people can do donations. I don't see one anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat
He's going to be mad if no one donates.
God, okay, here's some more links. I don't know how many
Which
links you motherfuckers need.
Jesus,
There's the links. What do you want from me?
We can't see the donations, so maybe 50 people donated and we don't even know.
Oh my God, okay, here, give some more links. Maybe that more people donate.
30
all
seconds
links.
To be serious, my friend John is an immense amount of discomfort right now with his fucking abscessed tooth, and his sinuses are fucked because of the abscessed tooth. If anyone could spare a couple of bucks to throw into the kitty, we are going to drag him to a fucking dentist physically. Yeah. I will have
this
to.
Is something this is something that can kill him, right? We're not kidding.
I'm being really serious right now. Even if I have to send Ben and fucking Billy down to where he lives to drag him to a fucking dentist physically, it's going to happen. There's going to be no fucking.
They'll do it.
This is the priority now, is getting him to the dentist, whether he likes it or not. I'm sorry, boss, love you, but this is I'm pulling fucking seniority into here. This is no longer a fucking option. You're on the road that Galen was on, and Galen, sadly, he had to spend tens of thousands of dollars, and we've luckily saved his life, but sadly he didn't get shit done early enough. We've got an opportunity to maybe spend several $100s instead of several $1,000s or tens of thousands of dollars. So we're going to take it. So if anyone can spare $1, throw it in the kitty. I'd be fucking most grateful, because my friend's just having a real rough time and he can't even do the show because he's that sick. And I'm really worried about him. So if you could spare $1, I'd be so fucking grateful. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Shabibi, are you streaming after the show?
See.
What shall you be playing? You should be playing the Call of the Poopy? GTA? And the Poopy?
See. Yeah, I'm going to take a big fat poopy while playing GTA.
Well, the links, apparently the links, what? I'm going to click you the link.
No, he's being sarcastic.
Yeah. I think he's getting sassed for the spamming.
You made me click it.
You asshole, Drunken. Now you have to tip, Drunken.
So you've just unlocked legend status, and I will now officially share pizza and weed with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You humbled me with your fucking kindness. Thank you very much. After how the way I spoke to you, and then you donate $5, you are the better person than I, and that has just been demonstrated to one and all. Tip of the hat.
Yeah, and I can actually, I guess, see with this thingy right now, if any tips come in, I can see that half bread just did do that 5.
No, that's very sweet. Fucking cool. Dude. Very grateful, half bread. Thank you very much, man. Because I want to get my friend's face fixed.
Yes.
Because he sees
good face.
Yeah, because when he
needs a face job,
he can stop me from yelling at people who don't deserve to be yelled at pretty quickly too, by muting me and kicking me off the show.
Yeah, he likes to do the yelling himself.
Yeah, well, he's
when he
like,
can. Let's fix his face so he can start yelling at people again.
Dude, a few weeks ago, he's popped in, like me and Shab are doing a show because he's away, and he's popped in, and he didn't directly say, all right, do it. We took it on ourselves and we did. And he's popped in, and he was joking, but he doesn't get me often, but he fucking got me. I thought he was dead serious. He's going, so what are you motherfuckers streaming on my channel for? And I'm like, oh shit. And for about 30 seconds, he's stringing me along, and he must have heard my voice was like, oh, I'm sorry, boss. He's going, no, I'm just fucking with you. He's fucking good at it.
That's so pimp. That's so him.
Yep.
Like, yeah, yep. He's got this ability, like, not often, but he will be able to bluff me into thinking that he's actually genuinely pissed with me. And it's not often now because I can read him fairly well because I've been on enough shows with him. But once in a blue moon, he's like, if I'm not expecting him to pop in like he did, and he just straight off the bat, it's like, oh shit. He's
pissed. He catches you off-footed there, yeah.
And he's fucking good at it. So, yeah, fuck you very much for that, pimp. Just want to say. Fuck you very much. Scared the shit out of me. Too old for this shit.
That feeling, man.
I can legitimately say that now because I'm going to turn 49 in a few weeks. Oh, fuck.
Shit. You got a couple on me.
Crinder,
what's up?
7 squared. 7 times 7. That's cool.
Damn
right. Came through with a $10 tip like a cool guy.
Thank you for that $10 tip.
Let's kiss him. Let's all kiss Crinder.
Absolutely.
Let's make out
with him. Again, this is really, he does need this for trying to stay alive. So
I'm fucking.
How could I not? Right?
Because I know fucking Pimp lives on tips and stuff, but this is, I'm genuinely fucking concerned because shit's not getting any better and he's on antibiotics, so it needs to be addressed, and they probably need to go in and get rid of the gunk out of his head. So we got to get that done ASAP. So thank you so much for fucking donating, guys. You fucking rule. You humble me. Thank you.
I hope we get him to his goal.
No, we will. We'll fucking make sure. We'll make sure it happens, dude. Because the alternatives.
Well, we could talk to Galen about the alternative and his journey of
fucking pain and discomfort that lasted how long? Over a year. And
That's rough.
Through the kindness of YouTube communities that know him, he eventually got the help that he fucking needed. So I'm not giving Pimp the opportunity to be too proud to ask for this sort of help. It's like, I'm sorry, boss. Love you, but I'm doing it to you, and you can be angry at me afterwards, and I'll cop it. But please help my friend if you can. Thank you to those that have. You guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna end this stream here, guys, and I'm gonna be moving over to my other channel. Here's a link in the chat to that stream. So yeah, if you want to follow me over there, guys. Shut up! I'll beat you up. Okay. So yeah, click the link I'm putting in the chat, guys. Follow me over there. It's starting in like 13 minutes. So yeah, here, let me put a bunch of links just to make sure you guys see it. Here you guys go. All right. Peace out, guys. Peace out.
Nice.
Fuck you. Peace out. Yeah.